Here, not too often as a quarterback in the NFL do you get a second chance to be the man. And he is the man down in New Orleans. The offense is built around him, and he's handled it extremely well.
No Reggie Bush today for the Saints, out with that meniscus injury suffered at Carolina. He had that repaired earlier this week. Deuce McAllister will be carrying the bulk of the load out of the backfield for New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm really anxious to see how Deuce McAllister, how he handles this role today. We talked to him yesterday, and I think the first thing that came to my mind when I saw him, are you a running back or are you a pulling guard? Because he is a big man. Maybe getting these extra carries, his power and strength will make a difference in his New Orleans offense.
Meanwhile, LaDainian Tomlinson, he's been really held back all year because of a toe sprain, has not been 100%. They do say it gets incrementally better every week. But off the first start of the year, worst numbers in virtually every category. But Norv Turner felt like he's ready for a breakout performance maybe right here today.
Yeah, listen, I think he's very close, and I've watched all the San Diego Charger games, and I watched him very closely in Buffalo last week. He was within a foot of breaking 2 or 3 long runs, which would have made the difference in the game for him. That's what they're hoping, that he gets back to top 4.
And he takes the field and high hops it out here. But what about the field? This was such a big part of the story last year when the Giants and the Dolphins were here. The conditions for today?
Well, so far the field has held up very well. I think the players were nervous about it, but doing all the warm-ups when they were going pretty much full speed, it looked pretty good.
All right, it's now time for today's Home Depot Tools to Victory. Both coaches traveling in here off a loss on their way to London. Norv Turner and the Chargers lost at Buffalo 23-14. And Sean Payton's bunch was in Charlotte where they lost to Carolina. Payton said, you know, one team's going to go home 4-4 with a bye and hopes for the rest of the season. The other team's going to have a long road back to make the postseason. Here are your keys.
Well, when you look at the San Diego Chargers, we talked to Norv Turner, and he said emphatically, we've got to tackle better. Let's show some toughness on defense. That could make the difference. And he's really upset. We need to pressure the quarterback more. On the other side, for the New Orleans Saints, Sean Payton, the field is not perfect. We got to throw outside on one-on-one coverage and have success. And then on defense, play it safe. Be conservative. Don't give up the big plays. They've been really good at that so far this year.
For more Home Depot player stats, log on to CBSSports.com. We got the Star Spangled Banner and God Bless the Queen coming up. We'll return to London after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS from London.
Anchor Lucy Bustamante on Channel 4's Eyewitness News.
This is James Brown in New York, and we'll get you back for the kickoff of your game shortly. But coming up, we have a special pregame ceremony from London. And a reminder that today's games on CBS are brought to you in high definition by Sony. High definition, it's in Sony's DNA. Now let's take you back to Wembley and public address announcer Alan Roach.
Ladies and gentlemen, to perform the United States national anthem, please welcome Grammy Award-winning artist and songwriter Ne-Yo.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the
And now, to perform God Save the Queen, please welcome multi-platinum performer, Brit Awards, and Grammy Award winner, Joss Stone.
God save our gracious Queen. Long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Send a victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen.
Coming up, it's the NFL on CBS, and we'll take you to the opening kickoffs of our early games right after this.
And we welcome you back live to London Town for San Diego and the Saints. The NFL International Series continues. Last year, the Giants beat the Dolphins here by a field goal. Phil, both teams will have a bye week when they get home, but this is really a crucial spot for both squads.
Sense of urgency, there's no question it's here, Jim. We met with both teams this week, and I'd say the word for it is kindly, they were really upset. They know they need this game.
Again, both teams on their way to London had a road game, and they both lost. And you can see the weather. That's 12 degrees Celsius. Partly cloudy. We had showers here all day. I'll interpret it for you. It's damp. It's in the 50s. And the field is also very moist, but looks like it has a much better chance of holding up than what it did a year ago.
Well, yes, if any field's going to be better than last year's, but during warm-ups, it held up well. Now when they go full speed, how would the field react, Jim?
Well, the Saints have won the toss, and they will take the football. Nate Kading will be the one handling it, launching it to a pair of returners who are hovering near the 5. Pierre Thomas, Aaron Stecker, the two back deep for New Orleans. No one expected either team to be arriving in England at 3-4. Both expected to be contenders for their conference title. Both desperately need this one. There's the kick to Thomas from the 8-yard line, trying to throw a wedge up the middle. And Thomas is finally taken down, not without a fight, brought down at the 26. Drew Brees with that golden chance to face the team that drafted him, the team that he quarterbacked for the start of his career. His line up front includes Stinchcomb on the right side. Watch Lair, the center, who will be starting today as Goodwin is out with a groin and knee injury. And it's McAllister starting at running back with Reggie Bush inactive back home, recovering from his surgery this week on the meniscus injury suffered at Carolina. On the delay, the give is to McAllister, and the Saints' all-time rusher plows ahead for 4 yards, going against a San Diego defense that has been on the field more than any team in the league this year. Jamal Williams, watch him now, one of the best in the league, going against Lair, the backup center for the Saints. He has a great chance to win that matchup. Phillips was a teammate of Brees at Purdue. And Cromartie, he had been questionable this week after a hip flexor injury, was out of practice Thursday and Friday, but he's a start. He is a go. He's up today. Out of a two-tight end formation, Brees dumps it over. And that is Billy Miller taking it for a first down for New Orleans. So let's get a little Phil Simms philosophy from the UK.
Well, you've kind of talked about it already, Jim, about field conditions, because so much of how this game is managed is going to be determined by that. Decisions by the head coaches. plays that you call on the offensive side by Sean Payton or the defensive play calls for the San Diego Chargers, that would be Ted Cottrell. And pitch conditions, well, that's a little London flavor. Pitch conditions is the field.
You're talking the language now.
That's it.
From the pitch, from about the 40, Breeze able to get it away, and a nice grab there by Lance Moore. And he is banged down by Phillips at the 45. Giles Tucker was in the face of the quarterback, and Breeze did a magnificent job of getting that pass away for 5.
Let's see, I'm Drew Brees. Am I fired up to play today's game? 5 years in San Diego. The last 2 years, one of them a Pro Bowl season, played extremely well, but when his 5th year was up, they said, thanks, we don't want you anymore. And that's basically what they said. He found a second home in New Orleans, and boy, did he get lucky.
On 2nd down and 4. It's back to Deuce. Enough Saints fans here. They give him the chorus. That actually was Aaron Stecker. They too in the stands were a bit confused by that. Stecker with a nice piece of running here. Now the Saints, since Hurricane Katrina, now they've had to move home games because of Katrina. The bulk of these games you're seeing on the graph because of that. But 5 different home sites since 2005. They are again the home team here, and that is such a difficult thing to do, to give up a home game. And, go 7 at home, 9 away from home. And that's the case here. Stecker picks up the first down. McAllister returns to the backfield, gets the handle. Now they give Deuce the welcoming ride with 5 yards. What about that, giving up that home game?
Well, it's tough. And what you give up, Jim, is like the Saints told us. You come to a neutral field, so you don't get to use your home crowd. And you get rested up, of course, at home. But your home crowd can help you win a game. Get in a situation where your pass rushers can use the crowd noise to beat a tackle. You know it's tough, but look, the NFL says, we want you to do this. When the NFL talks, you listen.
2nd down, they stay on the ground. And there's an open alley for another first down. That's Deuce McAllister again. Lance Moore helped clear the way for 12 yards. This is just what happened to San Diego's defense last week. The Bills had at least 1 first down on every series against them.
Yeah, how about this run? Look at the blocking up front. Nobody can get off the block, and it creates a running lane outside. And what's it look like from the ground if you're a defensive player? Looks like a lot of guys trying to block us, but Sean Payton, who calls the plays for the Saints, very excited about getting a chance to run against this San Diego defense. I haven't heard a coach say that in years.
They produce more yards than any team in the league. #1 offense, and Breeze shakes off the hip, goes underneath. And that's McAllister fighting for the first down. And we talked to Deuce yesterday, said you used to catch a lot of passes before Reggie got on board. And he said, hey, with Reggie gone, I did remind Drew Brees, hey, I got good hands. Don't forget that.
Let me just say this about Drew Brees. If you're open, he'll throw it to you. That's what he's done. And Reggie Bush not being here, of course they wish he was here. He's a tremendous player, but they have a lot of other options, and it's hard for a defense to really key on anybody when you look at this New Orleans offense.
Breeze rarely gets sacked, and he escaped one in that previous play. Sean Phillips, his old Purdue mate, had a play at him, and Breeze was able to feel the pressure. Now, with a little heat and a flag down, it goes again underneath. This is Pierre Thomas with the catch. Just methodically, just dinking and dunking and going down the field on the Chargers on this first drive.
No, methodically is not a good word. It's called easy.
Easy.
It looks effortless. It's too easy. Norv Turner must be going, are you kidding me? All the speeches, and we talked about this all week long, and they're just marching right down the field.
Holding defense number 95. 5-yard penalty will result in an automatic first down.
Tony Correnti is the referee. He was the referee at Super Bowl 41. That's Sean Phillips down the field.
It looks like it's against Jeremy Shockey, who's going down the middle. When you get down inside the 30-yard line, you have to look for the deep pass patterns by the Saints. They like to try to score and take a shot from outside the 20-yard line.
Edge bunt near the 12. Pierre Thomas rams it for 5 more. No play longer than 12 yards on this first drive. They just keep moving, picking up chunks every time. Again, the Chargers defense, they've been staying on the field more than any team in the league this year. But no opening drive touchdown allowed back 21 games. That's the longest streak in the league, and that's in danger right now.
So many things to say about this San Diego defense. Their coaches, Norv Turner, talked about it. People are keeping the football. They're driving it on us. And what that does, it wears you out, but it also keeps San Diego's offense on the sideline, which is playing great, and it limits possessions that you have during the game.
Has the football for 5.5 minutes. Lowers the shoulder, gets within 2 of the first, as Phillips able to wrap him up near the 9-yard line. 3rd and 2 coming up. Now this is a team, a defensive squad that led the league last year, Phil, in takeaways. Number 1 in the league, 48 takeaways. This year they're like middle of the pack, tied 15th best in the takeaway department.
When you're not doing great against the run, you can't get teams in the obvious passing situation. And don't forget, Sean Merriman not there for this San Diego defense. They have still not figured out a way to overcome his loss.
On 3rd and 2, the pass complete, and trying to get up to make enough for the first down is Devery Henderson.
And he did. That rollover by Devery Henderson picks up the first down. That's knowing the situation. And once it goes outside, free release. Look at that. Quentin Jammer drops back, worried about the deep route. Knows that he's close and sees it, rolls over, gets the first down. Defensive players, wide receivers, quarterbacks always know the situation, especially on 3rd downs.
Devery Henderson, who's caught a 50-yarder in the last 4 games, has a couple of 80-yard receptions earlier in the season, as confirmed by the chain gang. A first down. Henderson comes back out. 4 different receivers, 3 different ball carriers on this drive alone as the Saints spread the wealth. That's not 6 touchdowns in the last 15 red zone drives. That is not stellar work. Very good start to the season. Again, work in the middle. Another flag comes in from way back.
I will say this, the field, which I thought was going to
Holding, offense number 68. 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
So this will back up the Saints.
It's Matt Lair, the center, going against, you said it, Jim, against Jamal Williams. And he is probably the best defensive player. Just look in front of Drew Brees. Whoa. Could have been a slip. Did get his left hand up there. When you separate your hands and get him outside the shoulder pads of defensive players, that's why they call holding.
So the most difficult chore now, 1st and goal, all the way back at the 17. Brees sets up screen. Goes for the back uniform, and he gets the penalty back, if you will. Takes all that yardage back to the 7. And Lair, who was penalized on the play before, helped get him 10 yards with a nice block.
This Saints team, they do everything. They throw it down the field. They throw it across the field. They're very good in the screens because you're defending down the field. And look at those linemen. Lair, good job. Get outside and throw your body. Make the defenders try to avoid getting hit by the offensive lineman. It allows the guy that's catching the screen, the running back, to get those extra yards.
Marcus Colston in the slot to the right, more wide to the right. 2nd and goal. And a little pass to Stecker. Down at the 5-yard line.
Well, that was a slip, and I think that is the field. I've noticed a couple of defensive linemen, as they're engaged by offensive linemen, kind of slipping and falling as they try to push and get off the block. So, but you know what I say? There's a little side come up, Jim. It's like playing a baseball game. You're a batter. Once the strike zone is established, and I'm talking about the field, you just learn to deal with it and adjust how you play the game.
At the football now for over 8 minutes on a 3rd and goal from the 5. In the 13th play of this initial series, Brees to himself and tipped away beautifully by Clinton Hart.
Really good job by Clinton Hart. Good play call by the Saints. They're going to do a move and go on the inside. And Colston, nice move to the outside, but it's so close and so tight. If defenders don't go for the ball fakes, they hold their ground, be disciplined. That's what they did. That's why Clinton Hart knocked the football out of the way.
Taylor Melhoff, this is his 3rd game as the Saints kicker out of Wisconsin. Johnson, 23-yarder. Kick is good. Well, that's a long time to have the football to produce only 3. But 3-0 Saints off the opening drive. Some of the sights and sounds around London we all experienced this week. Buckingham Palace, changing of the guards, London Tower. The weather's been beautiful all week until today. Big Ben, Parliament, right off the Thames. As we welcome you back, you just said in the break, a victory there for San Diego as the Saints manage a field goal in the end after keeping the football for so long. As Darren Sproles to return it. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, pleased to be bringing you this broadcast from Wembley Stadium. Sproles inches up to the 7 of the field. It's got room, squeezes through a little hole, and takes it to the 34. Antonio Gates, just one of the many weapons we'll see with the Chargers in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. The new AT&T, your world delivered. And by the all-new Acura TL, the most powerful Acura ever built. Acura Advance.
Stands are filled and all kinds of NFL memorabilia present here, from cheeseheads to jerseys from last year's participants. And there's a constant roar of excitement so far as we see San Diego snapping it for the first time. They go Tomlinson, big hole for LT, trying to get outside. He's got it, looking for the edge and more, and takes it all the way down to the New Orleans 40. One of his best runs of the season, goes for 26.
Good blocking outside by the San Diego Chargers offensive line. Marcus Neal and Chris Tillman push their guys, and Vincent Jackson, he gets a block from the wide receiver position. The New Orleans Saints do not gamble. They don't crowd the line of scrimmage. They dare you to run the football. Let's see how long they can stay in that daring mode.
Just his third run longer than 15 yards on the season. He gets another carry here and falls backwards for 3. Well, Philip Rivers is the one who took over for Drew Brees in his 5th year from North Carolina State. He's enjoyed the scenery here, seeing Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, Harrods, the food court, and everything, he told us. Chris Thielman, one of those on the line, that helped spring LT for that big one a moment ago. Tomlinson, again, has been fighting a toe injury all season long. Mariuna down the bottom of your screen, the second tight end normally, and Rivers throwing it. Pulled down by Gates. Nice grab by Gates.
That happens so much with this receiving core for the San Diego Chargers. Roman Harper, watch 41, going to be the top right of your screen. Antonio Gates, a little double move. He jumps up to intercept it, but everybody 6'5". The wide receivers, 3 of them around 6'5". Antonio Gates is tall. Philip Rivers throws it high. They go up and take it out.
Goes for 16, so San Diego quickly inside the red zone with this rush by Tomlinson for 5 more. Now the New Orleans defense was able to stymie Adrian Peterson a few weeks back, held it for 32 yards on 21 carries, but LT's loose early. There's Charles Grant on the line. Vilma, picked up in a trade from the Jets in the offseason, mans the middle. And Case Bahar, the former Bengal, is the free safety for the New Orleans defense. 2nd down and 5. Tomlinson already exceeded the Peterson numbers against them. LT this time tripped up quickly by Vilma, and will give him a yard. 3rd down on the way from Philip Rivers, who is the #1 rated quarterback in the NFL this season.
Yeah, as we saw that catch by Antonio Gates, Philip Rivers playing well, making good decisions, a well-designed offense by Norv Turner that helps. But even Philip Rivers, Jim, didn't he laugh at us when we talked about his receiving core? He basically said, "Yeah, I know, it's unbelievable."
This is the bunch he really is enchanted by when they have Malcolm Floyd and all his size, plus Jackson, plus Gates. And then you got a guy named Chris Chambers. See what they do with it here on 3rd down. Simpson! He's looking for Malcolm Floyd. And that was Aaron Glenn defending.
Yeah, good defense. That time, Aaron Glenn back healthy. Number 31 is always good. Coming across the formation, fighting his way through defenders. He's always been a good third down defender. And the fact that the Saints have 4 good defensive linemen, they don't have to gamble. They have extra guys to help them in pass coverage, and it allows guys like Aaron Glenn to be more aggressive.
So Nate Kading, 12 of 15 on the season. David Binn back inside. Here's the kick by Nate Kading is good. Matching field goals with each team's first possession. 3-3 in London. And the Chargers, just like the Saints, were able to maneuver inside the red zone, and then things stalled. They settled for the field goal. The big play was that first carry by Tomlinson for 26 yards. So Kading the kick, and here comes the kick coverage team out of the pack. Kading sends it down to Pierre Thomas. He's able to make it out to about the 29. This is some sight. One of the great stadiums in the world. This is what it looked like the last 4 hours. Filling up to 80,000 strong.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by KFC. Come in now and get a Guitar Hero fully loaded box. And by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
New Orleans with the football for the second time. Drew Brees spread it around on that first series. 5 different receivers. And here he goes over to Lance Moore in his direction. We've got an update all the way across the pond to James Brown in the studio.
And hello, Jim and Phil Simms. Take a look at how New England got on the scoreboard. Ben Jarvis Green, Ellis, you know him all too well with that 2-yard run, capping a 13-play, 73-yard drive. New England on top, 7-3. Back to Jim Nance and Phil Simms.
All right, thank you, James. And here we are, second down at 10, New Orleans. With McAllister. Just a negligible game, maybe a yard, that's it. Stephen Cooper riding them down. Set your fantasy league lineup without watching fantasy football today. It's live every Sunday at 11 o'clock Eastern time, only on CBSSports.com. Drew Brees now facing a passing down. He's been averaging, Phil, 318 yards a game passing. 5 times out of the 7 games he's thrown for at least 300.
Well, some of that's good, some of it's bad because they've been behind. He's throwing a whole lot at the end of the game.
That's Shockey in the lineup. 3rd and 9. Snaps it, complete, but short of the first. That is Shockey with the reception.
You know, I wanted to say, Jim, as you watch that last play, the San Diego Chargers defense, that's the situation all defenses love. And they've been in a lot this year. But since their pass rush has been awful, they're not getting the quarterback, not getting those turnovers, and not getting the offenses off the field. But this time, it was good enough.
Scrolls the returner, Ben Graham, a new Saint, just signed on Monday, the former Jet hunter from Australia. And this one, hang time, gives Scrolls a chance to take off. To tap dance across the 30 to the 31, 44-yard boot. And we'll see the Chargers for the second time in a moment.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
A big Wembley moment back in 1923, the FA Cup final. Over 200,000 squeezed into the stadium as Bolton defeated West Ham 2-0.
Well, if you want to know anything about soccer, all you got to do is come over here and pick up a paper. There are about 20 pages a day, pictures, every game covered, big stories. It's pretty good stuff.
1st and 10, San Diego with Tomlinson finding a little gap. He went low and was able to pick up 4. And in case you haven't heard the news, Inside the NFL is now on Showtime. You can join JB, Phil Simms, Warren Sapp, Chris Collinsworth. Best highlights, insights, best analysis inside the NFL only on Showtime. And your colleague Jim Brown and her crew have been over here documenting your every move. around London.
That'll be an exciting piece.
I saw her today before the game. She said, we got nothing. Here's Tomlinson out to the 40, about a yard shy of a first.
You know, I used to hear that from Bill Parcells, my head coach. Sims, you're giving us nothing.
I got to go back and I got to produce a 3-minute piece. I don't have 15 interesting seconds yet of this man's
No, you know, the problem was they couldn't get me because your big bugs always trying to hog the camera.
He's suggesting I never met a team I didn't like.
Just the fact.
Just a tough yard to go here for the Chargers.
I go by what I see, always.
Inside a minute to go, first quarter. Inside with Tolbert. The fullback and his pushback. Now to get it.
Yeah, didn't even get close. Just they did not win the war up front.
The rookie Ellis, their first rounder out of USC, plugging it.
Going behind the center, Hardwick, and then Mike Goff, the right guard. They just don't get the push.
So Tolbert gets the handle.
And these are the kind of things that Norv Turner talked about.
Cyphers this way. Lots of handling. And forces the fair catch at the 10 by Lance Moore. With seconds to go in the first. That was a 49-yard boot. Tuesday on CBS, watch closely and you'll see why. The Mentalist is TV's #1 news show. Critics are calling Simon Baker terrific. The Mentalist, new episode Tuesday at 9, 8 Central on CBS.
You know, Jim, as we watch this game, I just kind of go back to what the coaches, not necessarily what they said to us, the demeanor in which they delivered it. And especially when I heard Norv Turner, I went, boy, I'd love to have been in that room when you gave that speech getting ready for the week. Because I think he was handling to the players about, let's go. Let's do the things that we're noted for and start doing it during the games.
Stecker is the running back. As Breeze on a slant hits post for about 6 or 7. That's going to close out the first quarter. 3-3 the score, and you're watching the NFL on CBS. The Chargers and the Saints about to begin the second quarter. Jim Nance and Phil Simms here for CBS. Big spikes, longer spikes are coming in as we start the second quarter. Those cleats really necessary in these moist conditions. Breeze launching the pass too high. We'd like to thank our friends and partners from the BBC and Sky Sports teaming up with us here today and broadcasting this very feed around the United Kingdom and all through Europe. How about those cleats that we just saw? We've seen some adjustments made on the sidelines already, Phil.
Yeah, you know, we have, Jim. The cleats are usually a 1/4 inch long. In a field like this, the players probably go to a cleat that's 5/8 of an inch. And then if you really want great traction, you go to one that's 3/4 of an inch.
Third down. Miller hangs on for the catch. Yes, you got the first down. Billy Miller, very good control there for 9 yards.
Yeah, coming down, knows the first down line where it's at, right in between two defenders. Drew Brees throws it to his back shoulder, and Billy Miller he's going to get some opportunities because Jeremy Shockey, they're going to be careful how many plays they put him in for today.
We go back to McAllister into the secondary and a flag, however, could bring this one back. Jari Evans, number 73, had a block, but perhaps it
holding offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Brown on the left tackle. And we saw McAllister break free. Now, his cleat situation was something he was going to keep a very close eye on. Now, he's had 2 major knee injuries. He's the Saints' all-time leading rusher. But back in 05, he got hurt in a game at Green Bay, and he had the long spikes, the long cleats on that day.
Yeah, you know, and he said his foot just stuck into the ground, and it caused a serious knee injury, Jim, and ACL injuries. He's had it to both of his knees. He said, under no circumstances will I ever wear those again, and rightly so.
First and 18, wipe away the good run. Breeze steps away from Phillips again. And goes to Deuce. Can't wait we've got another update. Update time to James Brown in New York.
Jim and Phil, no give up in these Rams with Jim Haslett as coach. Their longest offensive series play, that is, of the year. Up top, Mark Bulger to Donnie Avery. Hey, Phil, was that a go pattern or a skinny post? 69 yards is what it is, bottom line. 10-7, Rams on top. Phil will get me straight. Back to Jim and Phil.
All right, JB, Donnie Avery, the rookie out of the University of Houston, with a second long touchdown catch and run in 2 weeks. And the screen pass goes over to Stecker. And it's going to be a late hit call against the Chargers. They had him down well short of a first. It was going to be 3rd and about 5, but it's probably going to be a first down against San Diego.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit on the ball carrier while he was on the ground. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wilhelm had the hit, and that's not necessary right there. That second one.
Yeah, it's Marcus Harris, comes in late, falls on him. You go, wow, that wasn't so bad. But listen, when you hit somebody late, you can't put it into the hands of the official. Go, well, that wasn't, it didn't hurt. It wasn't that physical. Hey, you hit him late, boom, no questions about it. Throw the flag.
It's down now. New Orleans out at the 47. Tries to make the juke move and steps out of the 23. Cletus Gordon shoved him out, but it's a big gainer. 31 yards to Moore on his second catch of the day.
You know, Jim, let me show you how they got him open down the field. They're going to clear out on this side, and in the space that's created to the top of your screen, that's where Lance Moore comes into. And the New Orleans Saints, oh, this is well designed. They cross the receivers, the tight end, going across Lance Moore. They look for ways to get those big pass plays because that's how you score a lot of points in the NFL.
Down to the 20 with McAllister. Busy day back in the studio to James Brown.
Jim and Phil, this qualifies as a big play as well. Off of a Brett Favre pick, Tyler Thigpen of Kansas City makes him pay. Up top to Tony Gonzalez, 19-yard strike. It's all knotted up at the Meadowlands at 7. Back across the pond, Jim Nance and Phil Simms.
All right, thank you, JB. Tony Gonzalez adds to his decorated career, 7-7 in that one. Here it's a second down for the Saints. Look at Pierre Thomas get the first down to the 12. Just fighting hard, out really willing that San Diego defense. Second quarter on the season has been troublesome for the Chargers. They've allowed the most points, while the Saints have been the highest scoring team in the second quarter this year. So the best in this quarter against the worst.
Wow.
And it's trending that way on this drive.
Chargers, they can't get tired. They're starting to yell at each other. As I was watching them on the field, Sean Phillips yelling at his teammates, let's hang in there. And the Saints love the power running game so far today.
So in the red zone again, Breeze. Again steps away, now flings it back to the end zone for the touchdown. That's Henderson. Touchdown, New Orleans.
What's the old saying in the NFL? Just do your job. And when you watch the quarterback and leave your guy, Drew Brees wants the protection. He gets as good a protection as anybody in the NFL. But as he moves, the defenders go with him. Stay on the guy you're covering. You headed defense perfectly. Good job by Drew Brees. Scanning the field and finding the open receiver.
He does a great job, too, of just feeling the pressure. Just easing out of any kind of jam. Oh, hits the goalpost. Hits the left upright. That's Melhoff on the miss. 9-3. Breeze with his 13th touchdown pass of the season.
That's good field.
10-play drive for the Saints, resulting in a touchdown pass to Devery Henderson, his third touchdown catch of the season. They go 89 yards there, Bill. They had that big penalty that aided their cause, too. Late hit. Melhoff kicks it off. He missed the extra point. Good return after the 30. Good ball's taken out. The ball is taken out. just stripped it away from him. Usama Young with the football.
Never saw it come out, Jim, as I was watching Darren Sproles run up the field. I was just going, wow, such a terrific returner. Good field position once again for the Chargers.
Looked like Chris Reese was the one who knocked it out.
It is. He just pulled it out. He
Right.
saw that he had lots of defenders to help him, Jim, and he went for the strip.
Right back on the field. Saints offense at the 20. And Deuce with 3 on that one. Running into Tim Dobbins. We were talking about Breeze and the ease with which he maneuvers in the pocket. It's pretty impressive.
Well, you know, he played on a passing football team in college. Then he went to Purdue. Before everybody else was running this so-called spread offense, he was in the shotgun and threw the football at a very, very high rate. One time threw over 60 passes against Penn State. So, Jim, what I'm saying is he's learned to have tremendous feel from all the experience in throwing.
2nd and 7, and he's got his target. That is Campbell, taking it inside the 10. Yet another player with a catch on this Saints roster. That's good for 13.
How do receivers get wide open? Watch Drew Brees. They spread the field. He looks right, but he knows when he looks right, it makes the defense shift, and that allows Campbell to be wide open.
1st and goal. 8 different receivers so far. Brees looking for more near the goal line.
Oh, you know what he is. You know what I say there? Well, I haven't seen it. We used to say in the farm, I'm going to let it go because it might not be proper, but he was being a little too greedy. The short receiver was open, and he wanted more, so he goes for the touchdown, and that receiver was covered. So take the easy completion.
And Stecker comes into the backfield. Again, here they are, red zone. They've been breaking down here after a good start to the season. They've been in the red zone twice today. 1 field goal and a touchdown. This is the 3rd trip. Pass to the 5. Knocked down right away. Stecker. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 3. That's a good hit by Wilhelm.
I'm sorry, Jim, just in case you're wondering, it had something to do with pigs and hogs and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were going to say. You know, I was hoping you keep it civilized over here, dear boy.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Our friends on Sky and BBC were wondering,
what's he talking about?
What's he talking about?
Yes. Well, you know, a lot of times the best thing said is something that's unsaid or whatever.
3rd and goal. Would you say so? Okay. Step to the running back. Breeze. One and more trying to reach across. And did he lose the football in the middle of all of that? Got to think he might have been down.
I thought he was down, but he could have been laying on a defender too.
Yeah, they rule him down on the field a yard shy. Moore was trying to stretch it out, break the plane.
Moore's number 16. They clear it out. The quick throw. He knows he's trying to reach out.
Well, was he on top of a player, or I got to think he's down.
He's down. Left arm was down, and the spot was not very good either.
We got a timeout called by New Orleans. They got 4th and goal at the 1 coming up.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Circuit City. We'll hook you up with our one price promise. Web or store, same low price. Verizon Wireless. And by Ford. Drive one.
By the way, they've ruled it on the field a fumble and a recovery by the Saints. That's why the spot's just outside the 1 they're going for on 4th down. They could have challenged and probably had it if they would want to challenge inside the 1. But they go with McAllister, and he is across for the touchdown.
Well, this could be challenged, but you were right, Jim. It was not a fumble, and the spot of the football did not favor the New Orleans Saints, but they just line up and they go with a power run up inside. Already nice block. Boy, that is a good job right on the line.
Zach
the goal line.
Zach Street, number 64, really with the crucial block. Now Melhoff back out. With Ben Graham again, his holder is brand new. Gets it down to kick good. 16-3. They score the touchdown off the fumble recovery. It's Deuce McAllister taking it the final yard on 4th down, and New Orleans with a big second quarter here in London. Well, that was a 6-play drive for the Saints. That backed up their 89-yard drive with the fumble on the kick return squeezed in between. It's been a long time since we've seen Rivers and the Chargers on the field. Not since they got stuffed on 3rd and 1. They've been out there. 13 points in the last 2 minutes and 10 seconds by New Orleans. Sproles this time gets a running start. Finally is sideswiped at the 34. Don't miss Thursday's #1 new show, 11th Hour, by executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer. Thursday on CBS after CSI. Phillip Rivers, there's McAllister, scored the touchdown. Good start to the day. Tomlinson's run the football well. They've not been on the football field, or the pitch as you called it, or as they call it here, in over 6 minutes. Working on that one for 14.
Yeah, it was a lot of good stuff on this play. Will Smith, good job. Swims around the blocker, but Phillip Rivers, big, tall quarterback, stands in there, and he knows he has single coverage to the outside. And if you're playing against these San Diego wide receivers, you got to show respect when you have them one-on-one. You back off to stop the big play, you give them those 15-yard gains.
It's Tomlinson. Advances it to the Saints side of the field with 4. Now this has been quite the road trip and quite a stretch, really. You talk about the Chargers that went to Miami and lost, came back home, beat New England, then traveled to Buffalo, and on here to London. They do have next week off and coming in here at 3 and 4. No one could have imagined that they'd be struggling to this degree right now, and you can't afford to be 3 and 5 at the midway point. But this is a team that has really rallied the second half of the season for a number of years. Rivers completes it, backing out of bounds with the catch. That's Chambers.
Well, looks like he's going to be just short of the first down. First blitz by this New Orleans Saints defense that time, picked up very well. Look at those numbers. Drew Brees, 16 of 20 against his former team. Phillip Rivers just wanted to get on the field and get warmed up.
Third and less than a yard. Remember, they got stopped the last time. They were told that this time they go Tomlinson. He spins away. Stiff arm. Replaced behind. Tomlinson racing down the sidelines. One more stiff arm and he's out inside the 5. LT running harder than he has all season long. 40 yards for Tomlinson.
Well, you talked about can he break out and make the big plays that we've always seen in the past. I think the answer is now yes. We can see he's healthier. The speed is there. It was so close last week against Buffalo, and that is the second big run by LaDainian Tomlinson. In years past, their big plays in offense, it wasn't always passing plays, it was big runs by LaDainian Tomlinson.
Already with 92 yards on only 8 carries. He gets it again. This time tackled for a loss. Roman Harper comes up to make the stick.
Boy, that is diagnosing the play and attacking and keeping leverage. There is nowhere for LaDainian Tomlinson to go. The run looked like it was going to the left. He cuts it back to the right. The Saints defense showing discipline, waiting for the ball carrier to come back, and they get him for a loss.
A loss of 3, so a second and goal now back at the 8. And flags.
Chris Chambers moved.
False start. Offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty.
Makes me think it's a pass
second
play
down.
because when Chris, the wide receiver moves, they're usually wanting to get down the field and make a play. There's number 89 wants to flinch. Ooh. Either that or he's got a very crucial block against the defensive back because he knows the runner is coming his way.
He's got Sproles lined up behind him. There's Rivers. There's Chambers. Second and goal all the way back at the 13. Play action. Stepping up and wide of Sproles. Phillip Rivers, we had a good visit with him, Bill, on Friday. Got to really talk about that rivalry, if you will, with Drew Brees. And after visiting really on both sides of it, there's great respect here. There is no anger or angst between these two.
No, of course not. How can there be? Phillip Rivers, first-round draft pick. He knows he's drafted to take Drew Brees' job, but he goes out there and Drew Brees plays so well, Jim, that Phillip Rivers said, look, I learned from him. He's a great preparer. He's a leader of a football team, and there's no way you can complain if you're the backup quarterback in a situation like that.
Rivers wants the timeout.
Timeout.
Third and goal when we return to Wembley Stadium.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Get loads of melty cheese with the stuffed crust pizza, only from Pizza Hut. And by CareerBuilder.com. Start building.
And the London Eye takes about a half hour to make your way. One full cycle. What a sight it is. We've got a third and goal here for San Diego. Down big here, second quarter. Second and goal from the 13.
And all you're looking for is position. The Chargers have such tall, big receivers. If they get position, Phillip Rivers can throw it up.
Move Jackson, one of those big receivers, to the left side. Rivers steps up, goes underneath. It's Tomlinson who makes the move for the touchdown. LT able to break free from Jonathan Vilma. That was all Tomlinson for the touchdown.
Yeah, it was. Phillip Rivers looking down the field. Nobody open. He buys a little extra time by stepping up, and then he does this smart thing. Nobody open down the field. He drops it off. But when you drop the football off to one of the best players in NFL history at the running back position, something good can happen. What do you think? Is LaDainian Tomlinson back?
Well, I think he's answered that about, well, at least 3 big bursts so far. Best he's looked all season. That toe finally coming around. Extra point by Kading. First receiving touchdown of the season for LT, and the Chargers come bouncing back. (16-10) New Orleans, 5.5 to go in the second quarter. And what's your thoughts? Tomlinson has dazzled everyone here, but I'm talking 81,000 strong. And you're just, what does it feel like to you? Does it feel like an American audience watching a game? Does it feel similar to a game back home?
Yeah, it does. I think that the crowd was here early. There was a high demand for these tickets, and the atmosphere is very good. And two teams, like we said, sense of urgency. They know a lot, not their season, but pretty dang close is riding on it. They're playing like it.
It's sold out. This game, it's sold out within hours. Here, Thomas has to cut that right side. He's hammered near the 24 by Gregory. And any way you look at it, CBS is television's #1 network, the #1 comedy, the #1 new comedy, the #1 news magazine, and the #1 news show, plus the #1 show on television, CSI. CBS is America's most watched network.
A lot of ones.
It all adds up, huh? #1 analyst.
Don't try to be.
Well, that kept it quiet, didn't it? All right, here we go. 324. Dobbins and Harris, a short gainer.
I guess when I watch this San Diego defense, the thing that just surprises me, even watching it today, that you could just consistently run the football at them. Jamal Williams inside, Luis Castillo, Igor Shansky. They got their linebacking core back. It's healthy.
Again, Miller for the third time in this half. Good for a first down. Goes for 8.
And a team that throws the football as much as the New Orleans Saints, they've seen it all. In other words, teams try to get to the quarter. Watch the blitz as they all come at the line of scrimmage, and look how they adjust and pick them up. Drew Brees feels the pressure, moves just a little, and finds a wide open receiver down the field.
Bring in a new receiver, Robert Nugent, number 17. Lined up on the left side, last year's #1 pick out of Tennessee. It's just his 4th NFL game without injury. Brees. There he is to Henderson. There is a flag. Henderson able to swallow it up at the 45. Goes for 20.
Personal foul, late hit, unnecessary contact to the quarterback, defense number 90. This 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Antoine Applewhite with the late hit will move the football to about the 30-yard line. Second late hit of the game called against the Chargers.
Oh, boy, that's a big hit, too. And it's late. But Drew Brees is trying to throw it long and to the left. And he decides at the last second, he moves in the pocket and throws it back across the field. And Devery Henderson broke his route. He was supposed to go across and deep, and Drew Brees saw him change and made the throw.
Look at this distribution. 5 players now with at least 3 catches.
Today's pregame show, I was asked, will they miss Reggie Bush? Of course, you always want great players on your team. But they have so many weapons. They distribute the football as well as any team in the NFL. And what did Drew Brees say? You never know whose number's going to be called.
Back to the #1 offense in the NFL. Ball looking for more. Diving catch. What a catch it was. What an adjustment and a touchdown.
Unbelievable. Only a team that throws it as much as the New Orleans Saints can make the plays they did on these last 2. Because it takes a lot of repetitions to make adjustments and to make these spectacular catches. Lance Moore, top of your screen. A double move, an in and a goal. There's a hold by Cromartie. And down to the ground. And he celebrates. He's so excited. He's going to get a little penalty after this. He doesn't know what to do.
At the conclusion of the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 16, offense. For an unnecessary demonstration, this 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
They don't like the official call the penalty. That's what you mean. Yeah.
That's, yeah,
Well,
exactly.
they don't like it in America either, Jim.
It's like he scored a goal or something.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe that's what he was doing. If he was, good for him.
The Saints offense producing 3 touchdowns in their last 11 snaps. And down the middle to Melhoff. 23-10. 3 touchdowns in this quarter. We're back at Wembley Stadium and looking back at its glorious past, the 1948 Summer Olympics, the 14th Olympiad, the first summer games held since 1936 in Berlin. 59 nations represented, over 4,000 athletes. And of course the 2012 Summer Games will be coming back to London. They will not be having, by the way, the opening ceremony here at Wembley. That's going to be in East London in a new structure. But they will be holding, of course, all of the football action here, as they know it here.
Yes. Well, it's a beautiful stadium.
Soccer.
I don't know what I was expecting when we pulled up today. I didn't expect it to be so modern looking.
Yeah, no, right on this very site was where the original. Yeah. They basically rebuilt the entire outer structure and looked at the kick coming at the 15 off the celebration penalty against Lance Moore. The Chargers have a chance to come up with a very good starting position here. Let's Rolls do with it. And several flags. It'll probably give it right back the 15 yards. Troy Evans in on the hit.
Just go back, Jim. The New Orleans Saints, they make plays in the passing game that other teams in the league don't, just because they throw so much.
During the return of the kick, illegal block in the back, receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, you're talking about that explosive offense, and one of the things that Drew Brees told us he loves about his coach Sean Payton is his aggressive mentality with play calling. Says it gives you confidence, and you know you can really see it. We saw Brees for years play in San Diego, and it just shows.
Well, you know, we'll get into it later. Sean Payton's the next quarterback, had dreams of playing in the NFL, so he's designed an offense that would work.
Just a collision with his own man. That's LT for no gain. Going into Marcus McNeil for a moment and a loss of a yard. You know, the Chargers lost at Buffalo, and then they saw Denver lose right behind them, so they felt a little relief that even though they're 3-4, that they felt fortunate that no one in their division has really taken off like 6-1 or something like that at this point.
That's right. That gives them, that's right. That takes some of the pressure off of them, I think, Jim, and rightly so. They
split Tomlinson wide left. And there's a great snag in the draft by Gates. Still be third and about 4. 7.
But I tell you the difference, Jim, this is not the same. As Norv Turner say, don't panic. We're still a good football team, but it's not the same as last year. I know they had a big run last year, and they carried it over into the playoffs, but they're not playing the same style defense. They're not making those big plays on the defensive side. That is the big difference. And your offense, no matter how good it is going to have down weeks.
As we approach the 2-minute warning.
This offense is good.
3rd down and 4. Can the Chargers keep it, produce some points before halftime? Rivers looking for the first. That's it. That's Jackson. Doubled up and banged out at the 41 in New Orleans. So San Diego back on the Saints side, but down 23-10. Welcome back. They call it the gantry, by the way, the press box, if you will. Jim Nance and Phil Simms coming out of the 2-minute warning. What do you think of your perch here?
Well, we're kind of out in the. There's no roof. That's what I'm trying to say,
open
Jim.
Air.
And all you were worried about was the rain. What's going to happen if it rains? And I said, don't worry, I'll hold the umbrella just like I do all the time we walk on the streets.
Exactly. First down. Rivers pump fake going down the field. He's got his man. It's Chambers. Or is it Gates? It is Antonio Gates.
It's Antonio Gates, and they just cannot watch him from the slot. It's just a foot race. That's all it is. And Antonio Gates, look how big he is, and he is a big man. It's hard to run with him because he's so smooth, and he makes moves so quick that it leaves even the fastest defenders behind him.
Randall Gay was shaken up on that last reception, going into the 2-minute warning by Vincent Jackson. So they take advantage of that remixed secondary, and it's 1st and 10. And Rivers to the end zone, and that's out of bounds. Only 1 foot in for Antonio Gates. Caught 3 touchdowns the last time he saw the Saints in 2004.
He went across the field again, and the Saints.
And now overruled. Now remember, we're inside of 2 minutes, so this will be examined up top. Cannot be challenged by New Orleans. It'll have to come up top. Right foot's down, left foot's in.
Yeah, it's easy. Easy call. What happened is, side judge sees this 3rd step. Foot's on the field, possession, 2nd foot in. Now the 3rd one, that's why they called it out originally, Jim. That was Young on the coverage. Antonio Gates just running away from the defenders. The New Orleans Saints go, okay, no more of that.
80. We've had 34 points scored by these two in this quarter. 23-17, New Orleans.
Well, let me just show you Antonio Gates, how fast he is and how easy he makes cuts. He's just going to go up the field and just outrun the defense. They've got the perfect defense on. They got a safety to help back deep, but he just goes to the corner, and it is a perfect throw, of course, by Phillip Rivers. But again, Antonio Gates, just like LaDainian Tomlinson, like Jamal Williams, guys that were injured who are getting healthy, and you can see, when healthy, they're some of the best in the NFL.
Gates beat Usama Young on those last 2 plays. Gates saying, why can't we have the Saints on our schedule every year? He had, again, 3 touchdowns the last time he saw him, and another big game today with that score. And a good collision near the 20. Here Thomas decked at that point with a minute to go in the half. As you might expect, Kasim Osgood on the tackle. Coming up, Sprint halftime report. We'll send you back 3,500 miles away to JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. Coach Cower. All the latest scores and highlights is coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Both quarterbacks throwing for 2 touchdowns.
Both of them playing well. Well, that's an understatement. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, high rate of completion.
Saints want to do a little business themselves. They'll go gun from the 20 and Breeze to Stecker. And the immediate hit made on him by Kaysen, the rookie from Arizona who they took in the first round back in the spring. Now they hurry up. They do have 2 timeouts in their pocket. They gained only 4 and took a lot of time. Breeze down the field. Miller up in the air, and that's a pick. That ball never hit the ground, and San Diego comes out with it. Steve Gregory. Billy Miller trying to make a second acrobatic catch of this game. Tipped it up in the air, and Gregory plucks it out of the sky, and San Diego has a chance to add to its total.
I think you're right, Jim. There's nothing on that replay that shows the football hit the ground.
Here's how you'll really know. Oh, that's on the ground. I think this is going to come back. They're going to stop it up top, you got to think. And this will end up being right back in the hands of New Orleans. All right, yep, they stop it before the Chargers can snap it. We're under review. It's going to be a break, very possibly, for Peyton, Breeze, and Billy Miller.
Well, Jim, I think it's going to be overruled. You wouldn't rule it a catch, would you?
No.
So you know the ground was part of the action, so it cannot be an interception.
Back to London in a moment. Tony Corrente going into the booth to take a look at this last one. Billy Miller. Well, it's not, again, it's not a, you weren't suggesting was it a catch or not. It's just the same rule applies. You know, did the ground cause this? Was it ever trapped, or do you have a hand under it? But it looks like it just bounced,
yes,
like a ball, like a basketball off of concrete, off the soggy field. It still caromed right off the turf.
It's amazing the way they go after and just attack the football. Again, a throw up in the air, one hands it, almost comes down with a spectacular catch. But I think, Jim, just when we saw the replays, I saw the ball hit the ground, the football hit the ground, and that caused it, along with Miller, to throw it up in the air.
Is there a hand or an arm underneath it? Nose of the football. Wow. It hit right on the nose, and that's...
Well, that replay, as we did it slow.
Are you are you hedging now?
Yes, I am. I'm gonna say it's incomplete, though.
I'm going with that too. So it'll be an overrule. Be the guess.
And the longer he stays in there, makes me believe that, because I say, where was the football? Where was it placed? How much time on the clock?
Something that might be taking a little explanation in the stands, exactly what they're trying to do here with this whole, replay mania. And here comes Tony Corrente. The Saints are already celebrating.
During the play, the pass had hit the ground, therefore it is an incomplete pass. It'll be New Orleans ball.
To the Saints.
Down to 6.
No pick.
At the 24-yard line. operator, please reset the game clock to 35 seconds. 35
Well, it's
seconds.
determined that the football definitely hits the ground. That's why it's overruled. And the Saints retain possession. Now the big question is, will they take the football and run it, or take a knee and get out of here?
Remember, San Diego has
Still
two
has two
timeouts.
timeouts.
Yep.
That's right.
Coming up again, Sprint halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. And Coach Coward with all the latest scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint halftime report. This will be the final game of our 1 o'clock games coming into the studio. There's Lance Moore open out of the 43. Moore's having a big afternoon.
Yeah, you just can't give up the big play there if you're the San Diego defense. Antonio Cromartie, why are you covering the guy that's running 5 yards? Worry about the one that's running 15 and 20 yards down the field. Time is on your side. Know the situations.
Saints with their 2 timeouts and 30 seconds at their own 43. Steffen wisely heads for the sideline after picking up 8.
Well, Sean Payton so worried about his kicking game coming in here today. Even though I'm sure he doesn't have great trust in the field goal unit, if he gets a chance, this would be, of course, a big plus for his football team.
Breeze already with 229 yards. 12th game in a row with at least 200. The longest streak in the league. Look at this aggressive play. Looking for Henderson, who slips inside the 10. And it falls incomplete.
He's got him. Drew Brees moving in the pocket. Did his arm get hit, or was the football wet? It slips out. I don't know. But Devery Henderson, another in and go. Boy, I love this route. And it gets Clinton Hart. Look at him. He's beat. It's gone. He's going to have a touchdown. Oh, I think it just slipped out of his hand. That's the first pass he's thrown all day that even had a little wobble to it. So it came up about 8 or 9 yards short of his target.
Now with 16 seconds. And it's 3rd down. And the ball's incomplete. Going back to Miller. Jarred loose by Kaysen.
Tell you what, we talked about it. The Saints like big plays, and they give themselves a lot of opportunities for them.
12 seconds to go. Here's Ben Graham, the Australian who met them over here in London after he signed on Monday. And the first time Sean Payton saw him, met him in the lobby of their hotel. He thought he was a bellhop for the hotel. He didn't realize that he was an Australian. So the accent, he didn't realize he wasn't working for them. He was working with them.
Yeah. He handed his bags to him.
He did.
Slipped him $5 and said thanks.
Yeah, Graham must have wondered if that's his signing bonus.
Oh, geez.
Hand him a few pounds.
Yeah, 5 pounds, not $5.
Exactly. You tried that stunt a few times over here and it didn't work, did it?
Are you saying I'm cheap? Is that what you're
No,
trying to say?
just this whole conversion thing. It's been a difficult week for you.
It just times it by 2. That's it.
That's it.
I got to admit, it's been a wonderful experience over here in London.
It has been fun. What a fun first half we've had here, too, at Wembley. 23-17 New Orleans at the intermission. Back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You are watching the NFL on CBS. Begin the 3rd quarter. When you saw the field conditions, Phil, you said this is going to favor the quarterbacks. There will not be a heavy rush because they just won't have the footing to be able to apply the pressure, and the receivers will have the advantage over the defenders. That's what we've seen.
Well, we have, Jim, but the field has held up much better than I thought it would. And the quarterbacks, is it great play by them, or is it just not very good defense? I think there's a little bit of both. No pressure's been on either quarterback. They haven't been sacked. So when you give time in this league, you give a quarterback protection, and with the receivers that both teams have, look at the numbers, the passing yards, the passer ratings, no sacks, and look at the bottom, the total number of plays. North Turner complained last week to us. They only had 48, only 22 in the first half.
And if this is follow, they call this stomping out the divots, but preparing the field just a bit here is what we saw in the second quarter. We had 5 touchdowns in that second quarter, 4 of them pass plays. McAllister touchdown run on 4th down. There's the one, Rivers to Tomlinson. This one to Moore. Beautiful grab. And then Gates hauls this one in. Each quarterback throwing a pair of touchdowns in the second quarter. New Orleans had a 20-point run in a 7.5-minute span. What do you look for here in the 3rd and 4th?
Well, you know, as I look at this game, which team can find a way to get pressure on the other quarterback, Jim, that's what it's really all about. And so far, I've seen no signs that by either team doing it. And maybe more importantly, neither team has really taken a chance defensively to blitz. So they're willing to sit back, not take those chances, and hope the offense makes a mistake.
And a reminder, this game is brought to you in high definition here on CBS. As the teams were reminded this week, you know, the first game of this international series in London, remember the league 2 years ago,
right,
played in Mexico City with Arizona and San Francisco. But you take last year in London, it's a proven fact that was pointed out to the teams. The winner of this game at Wembley goes on to win the Super Bowl because the Giants won here last year, went on to win Super Bowl 42. So basically what we're saying, you're watching the Super Bowl right now. At stake in this second half. As San Diego comes out and scores on the return. And all kidding aside, again, if you miss this at the start, this is so crucial to each team. They're struggling at this point, matching 3 and 4 records. Can you imagine going back home, having to sit out an extra week with the bye at 3 and 5, and that flight back home off of a loss for one of these two teams? An 0-2 road trip to travel this far and be away that long and have nothing but 2 losses to show for it.
You said it right, the 0-2 road trip, and I think that's why this week some of the luster, some of the fun was taken away from both teams because they lost last week. And like we said, the sense of urgency.
And Rivers, handoff to Tomlinson for no gain. He's got Shanley on the hit. Mentioned Rivers took in some of the sights this week. He also, when we saw him on Friday, was giddy with excitement because he saw his family for the first time in a little more than a week. He was able to have one of those like computer video iChat type things with his wife and children back home. He's got 3 little girls and a little infant son, and his daughters had, of course, made up one of those calendars where they pull the sticker off and how many more days till Daddy's back home. Here's their dad launching it long. Hey, goes through the fingertips. Would have been a touchdown. Vincent Jackson unable to pull in the pass, which was beautifully thrown. Would have gone for 6.
Yeah, it really was. And what a terrific route run by Vincent Jackson. Phillip Rivers, good footing. Watch him on the outside down the field. He widens and he catches the defense is just, they think it's going to be a shorter throw. Nobody's really being alert for the deep throw, and Vincent Jackson just ran right by him.
Looked like it should have been caught. Now it's a 3rd and 10. And Malcolm Floyd is added to the receiving corps. Rivers pass. It is intercepted. Now ruled incomplete. That was Charles Grant who dropped back to make that play, and it's incomplete. Made a diving attempt at it. Aaron Glenn came blitzing in on Rivers.
Yeah, what they do, it's really not a blitz. It's just 4 different guys coming in. And the San Diego offense caught a little bit off guard. Aaron Glenn came from his left. Nobody saw him. Phillip Rivers must have felt it, anticipated the throw, and was off target with it.
So a disheartening series really for San Diego when they had the long ball that looked good.
San Diego missing a special teams player.
Sim Osgood switches off to the far side. He saw it.
That's heads
so
up.
Smart. And Malcolm Floyd races out at the last minute.
Save a timeout.
Yep, exactly. That's Cyphers. Again, this one way up into the sky and fielded. Fair catch. Lance Moore after 47 yards to travel. We'll see the Breeze and the Saints. They have the lead when we come back.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
By the way, there was a personal foul penalty. We didn't see the signal for it until after we were away, and it was on Aaron Glenn of the Saints, who had a little exchange with Kasim Osgood.
Watching 31. What's Kasim Osgood? Bam. They both throw punches at the same time.
Well, they call it on Glenn, whose helmet got twisted around, and that backs up the Saints to the 12. Aaron Glenn's been in this league for so long. 15 years now out of Texas A&M.
Aaron Glenn got caught looking in the backfield, almost gave up a long throw.
Inside the stadium here, they're having some issues with referee's mic. Thankfully here, it's been rain-free after a pretty steady drizzle all morning and afternoon long. It wasn't a kick here until after 5 o'clock, and then it just suddenly cleared out. Coach McAllister runs right into Phillips for 2. That's it. Now the Saints in that first half punted twice. That first series was some impressive drive, but it resulted in just a field goal. Kept it for over 8 minutes.
Yeah, just look at that, what they did. So impressive. That last one, it says 6 for 31. If the football doesn't slip out of Drew Brees' hands, I think it's going to be a touchdown. So they've had many, many opportunities. The Chargers have got to find an answer. You find an answer with a pass rush.
Brees down the field, caught. That's Colston. Reaches down to grab it, and a flag on the back end on Cromartie.
Oh, this is an old play. One of the first plays that most of these offenses put in training camp. Drew Brees fakes the throw to his right. He knows the whole time he's going back to throw it up the field to Colston on a seam pass to his left.
Goes for 48 yards and more to be added on, it appears. Another 15 yards called against Cromartie.
Yeah, this is watch Drew Brees. Fakes it to his right. It makes the defense hesitate. It's a small window. Oh, and it just gets by Clinton Hart, but that's all they need. They, like I said earlier, they throw it so much. They make all these tough plays look easy. And then the number of big plays, they know what to do with it. They catch it.
Deuce back up a yard by Giles Tucker. They're glad to have Colston now coming around healthy. He had that thumb injury. Just picked up the 48-yard pass play. Colston, his first 2 years, compiling 168 receptions, which is the most catches first 2 years of any player in the history of the league.
Well, we've seen it today. Jeremy Shockey, we haven't heard his name. But Colston, Henderson, and Lance Moore. You don't follow the league closer. You just go, who is this guy? He's good. That's all I know.
Deep they go, incomplete, looking for Miller. The number 9 throwing that one incomplete. There was another number 9 playing over here in England back in 1987. Sean Payton, after quarterbacking at Eastern Illinois, the Panthers. He quarterbacked here in the UK, up in the Midlands, Nottingham, Birmingham area for the Leicester Panthers. There he is running in at the velodrome. Look at this. That was their football field.
I like it. Good throwing motion by Sean Payton. He said it. He beat around. Kansas City Chiefs had some tryouts there. Played during the strike year, Chicago Bears.
When he was over here playing, got called to be a graduate assistant at San Diego State. So he left from here for San Diego. Brees, Miller, bounced around near the 14. Stephen Cooper, Quentin Jammer, give him the double whammy, but it gains 10.
First, it's pass protection. Just look how long he gets the look down the field, and they're going deep. It's a deep in cut. Somebody's in the end zone, and then at the last second, he realizes, oh, let's drop it off if he's not open. And it gets close to the first down. And what did Sean Payton say? I don't know where the football goes when my kickers are out there. So this is what you do. You go for it on 4th down instead of trying a field goal.
Didn't really know what he had with his kickers. New punter, Melhoff, his place kicker in just his 3rd week. 4th down and 2. They fake the toss to Stecker. They go instead over here for the first to Miller. And they have it inside the 5.
Well, you've been running the football well, so this fake toss, I'd run for it too, because these are big plays. Get off the field. They're blitzing, there's pass pressure, but it's just a very nice play call.
Breeze with a little jump pass.
Little Joe Cap, there we go. Phillip Rivers, I've seen him throw some jump passes. But play calling, that's what separates a lot of offenses in the NFL. And Sean Payton, he's in rhythm today.
Second and fourth down conversion of the game. And here's the handoff to Carney, the fullback. And he comes within a yard of the goal line.
You know, Jim, when you call plays, you always want to be, if you're Sean Payton, you want to be one play ahead of Ted Cottrell, who's the defensive coordinator. And that's really what it is. Oh, they're expecting to run up inside. Well, you fake it, you go outside. And some days, but you saw the play sheet of Sean Payton. He's got about 250 plays on it. 200 of them are passing plays, so a lot of options they can use.
They ran left tackle with McAllister last time from down here. Now Breeze is going for it, and he has it. Touchdown to Mark Campbell.
So diversified. Deception is what helps you get it done when you have an offense, especially when you get close to the goal line. How's this for deception? Fake the run, roll out, and now instead of throwing it out in the flat, you throw it behind the defense for an easy touchdown.
Boy, they are, as you say, so diversified. You feel like they could have scored any number of ways. It was not a question of if, but how.
I could complete 50% of this offense.
Adds one more. So Breeze drives them 88 yards, throws his third touchdown pass of the day. 30-17, New Orleans.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Frost brewed Coors Light. When the mountains turn blue, your beer is as cold as the Rockies. And by Cadillac, introducing the 2009 Cadillac Escalade Hybrid.
We're back in London. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, and privileged to be in the company here of Commissioner Roger Goodell.
Great to be here.
Hello, you know, you had a low-scoring affair here last year. The Giants winning by a field goal over the Dolphins. A lot of excitement, a lot of energy in the stadium here today.
There really is, and we've already outscored last year's game, so it's been a lot of excitement. And you know, the British fans are really taken to this game, and you can feel it. It's a little bit of a Super Bowl atmosphere.
This game has been sold out. It's sold out right away, but you got 81,000. This has certainly been a great reaction to American football. And what does this tell you want to do down the road?
Well, we want to keep feeding the fan response. The fans keep responding. They keep wanting more football, and we want to keep bringing it to them. And we're on 2 different networks just here in the UK tonight, in addition to CBS. So
and BBC.
There's a great deal of excitement.
You know, Commissioner, I know you've talked to Jim this week. Y'all did a little sports forum over here. But what is the grand plan? Would you love to one day see a team over here in London?
I think it would be a great thing for the league. And if the response keeps continuing the way it is, I think that's a realistic possibility, because they are great sports fans here in London, as you know, and they love the game of football.
And more immediately, what about next year?
Well, next year we're already committed to being back here for at least one regular season game, and we'll be back the following year also.
You say at least. Is there a possibility there's more than one next year here?
Yes, we are considering the idea of whether we play 2 games either next year or the following year.
You know, Commissioner, I know a lot of fans, and we saw 2 teams that lost last week. They were upset. You know, they're on edge because they lost. How do you pick who's going to come over here?
Well, it's a combination of things, Phil. It's in part the teams that really want to do this. It's second. It's also a part of who would have the greatest attraction here and the great fan following. And we've had great experience with these 2 teams who came over here. They spent the week here. The coach told me that they had the best practice in the entire year on Thursday. And Norv was really excited about the week and how it's helped him prepare his team for the rest of the year.
As Tomlinson just picks up the first down on that catch. Now, you did have a little global sports summit here, and you were with the, if you will, the president here of the Premier League, and Richard Scudamore, and you guys talked about the globalization of sports. You know, here are probably the 2 greatest leagues in the whole world. And what about the globalization, the mission for the league? What do you see Way down the line here as this pass is going to be incomplete. What would you really like to do? I've heard talk about every team, maybe within a few years, having at least one international game per year, each team. Is that how you see it? Is that the goal?
Well, the difficulty with doing these international regular season games, frankly, is that you have to take a game away from the home fans back in the States. It's one of the attractiveness potentially of expanding our regular season from 16 to 18 and taking 2 preseason games away. It'll give us more high-quality content to take overseas because these fans are educated, they're sophisticated, and they know the difference between a preseason game and a regular season game, just like our fans at home.
Here's the handoff to Tomlinson. Right to the 50, so and to go with it, you talked about the teams they practice, and they really were stationed about an hour outside of London for the good part of the week.
Right.
And what's that been like? You said San Diego found it very beneficial, some good practicing. We talked to Drew Brees and we talked to Phillip Rivers, and Rivers talked about how this last year compared almost to when the Fires had hit San Diego. They had to go as a team over to Arizona, and they bonded.
I think that's one of the great things about being away and being with your teammates for a week. It's a team game, and when you get the chance to be together, you know, great things happen, and I think that's what happened with the Giants last year. They started their run really here in London last year and ended up winning the Super Bowl.
3rd and 5, and Jackson was the target, and here's the flag coming in. And going to be a big call right here. Aaron Glenn arguing it.
Pass interference, defense number 31. Automatic, first down.
And lastly, Commissioner, you talked a little bit about this thought process, possible 18-game schedule. That's been kind of out there now for a couple of weeks. What really has been the reaction to that?
Well, we go through the analysis. We talk with our owners. I talked with our player advisory council last week. There's some real positives to it, and it's a way to keep growing the game. And I think it's a way to keep giving the fans better quality football. The quality of the preseason games clearly are up to the standards in the NFL, and I think we owe it to our fans to give them the best quality.
Well, it's been a quality game here today.
When I see you during the offseason, we'll have an argument about that.
He doesn't like it.
I've heard.
Thanks, Raj.
All right.
Nice to see you guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roger Goodell, appreciate your visit here to the booth as Tomlinson takes it to about the 39-yard line. And that pass interference call keeping this drive going for San Diego.
Well, it might keep them in the game, Jim. That's what it does. You got to think, well, we're not going to stop them. We got to keep them moving.
And that's the catch by Chambers at the 27.
Everything the Chargers wanted to avoid today, they're in now. Now they're in a throwing mode. They got to be aggressive in their play calling. And when you throw it, at least you're giving yourself more chances to pick up those first downs, because if you run it twice, now that 3rd down pass becomes more crucial, more pressurized, and once again, you've shown no hope that you can stop New Orleans offense.
First down from the New Orleans 27. Pass down Sproles, tiptoeing down to about the 23.
You know, too, Jim, and really what's separated these teams, the turnover today, the fumble by Darren Sproles. Otherwise, the Chargers would probably be driving down the field to tie the game up or go ahead by a point.
Sproles has not been used as often today as we've seen most of the season, as Tomlinson's run so well and looking very sharp and quick. 97 yards in the game for Tomlinson. 2nd down and 4. And there is Sproles. He nabs it at the 15. Look how quickly he darts to the 7. First and goal to go for the Chargers.
Well, it's the receiving core that you talked about earlier. There's 4 good receivers going down the field. So the defense drops back because they don't want to give up the big play. And look what happens when you throw it to Darren Sproles. Short, we saw it with LaDainian Tomlinson earlier. They can catch it, pick up those extra yards, and what do you do when you're on the defensive side? You hope.
First and goal as Brees just has to sit back, relax. 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Waiting his next turn. Tomlinson trying to break it outside, but well jammed by a Vilma. And adding on to that was Randall Gay, who was shaken up late in that first half. It's back in there.
You see what I'm saying? When you run the football, it's almost like you go, the throwing is so easy now for both football teams that you don't want to take away one of those opportunities. And, you know, I believe in running the football. It makes you tough. It helps you win games. It helps your defense. I know all the side effects. But for the Chargers, you're doing that Saints defense a favor.
The 2nd and goal. Flags first.
False start, illegal snap in the center. 5-yard penalty will remain 2nd down.
You know, just one last thing, you mentioned to the commissioner, he was aware of your viewpoint on it. You don't like the 18-game, 2 preseason, adding 2 games regular season idea.
You know,
at first glance.
Jim, you have 2 preseason games. You're going to rest all your starters in one of them. You know, you don't go into the championship fight without sparring at all before it, do you? And then that's, to me, one of the big problems in the NFL. Guys are not getting enough game action at a pace to get them used to it, and we see a lot of injuries early, and I think it's because of that.
They send out Tomlinson to the left side. Now on 2nd and goal from the 12, and another dead ball.
Offside, defense unabated with the quarterback. 5-yard penalty.
That's a big 5 yards.
Will remain 2nd down.
Jeremy Clary, the right tackle for the Chargers. Do you see him move? There he goes. He definitely moved backwards. I'm surprised that Tony Corrente did not see that.
It went the other way instead, with San Diego back at the 7. Second down, give Tomlinson, and Gilma got a hand in there first. Gay finished him off, gains 2.
Yeah, Cedric Ellis slowed him down originally, just shot right through the offensive line and grabbed LaDainian Tomlinson. And you know, if I was the play caller, Norv Turner is for the San Diego Chargers, I'm not sure he's thinking we're going to take 2 cracks at this.
30-17, we can't stop the Saints so far. They'll go shotgun with Tomlinson flanking the quarterback. Rivers at the goal line has his man. Touchdown. There is a flag. That's Manu Maliuna with the catch.
Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
The crossing routes by the Chargers, given the Saints defense fits, they have no answers for it. Top of your screen. Oh, that's just a tackle. That's Chris Dillman on Bobby McCray, and he just throws him down, and that was one big holding penalty.
They've had 80 yards in penalties. Talking about San Diego, 30 in this quarter.
Penalties, 1 turnover. Can't sack the quarterback. It really says a lot about their offense that they're still in this game.
Big chant of defense here. Sounds like we got more Saints fans over here today.
And they want to see something they haven't seen all day.
We'll see what it looks like. On 3rd and goal. Rivers. We go to LT. And he is chopped up at the 6. So 4th and goal from the 6. That'll bring out Nate Kading. It's just too far out too early. I think to go for it from this point, if it was going to be 4-down territory, no, not from here.
Not from there, no. There's no question, not even a tough coach's decision. I'm interested to see when the Saints get it back, do the San Diego Chargers change their tactics on how they attack the Saints offense.
Good 24-yard try for Kading. Kading's kick is good. 30-20. New Orleans by 10. 3rd quarter in London. They'll tell you of all the big moments at Wembley that this was the greatest of all. 1966, the World Cup. In July that year, 16 teams, and the host team was victorious over West Germany in the finals 4-2. It's Kading bringing it down to the 2 to Thomas. And that's Kaysen holding on to the tackle. So Breeze has 299 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, and he hops back onto the field once again.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chevy, an American revolution. And by McDonald's. Play Monopoly at McDonald's.
We welcome you back to London. You got that?
No, I don't.
From the 23, the Saints leading it 30-20.
What did it say, Jim? I couldn't read it. What did it
CBS. Breeze again. And no trouble operating out of a pocket. Completely sealed, and he finds Billy Miller out to the 43. I'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching Liverpool and Chelsea. Actually, this is a bit of an upset, isn't it, Phil?
You're asking me?
Yeah. Premier League action?
Yes.
1-0.
I just know this.
Don't tell me 1-0.
Manchester United and Chelsea, I know they're two big, powerful organizations. So I would say that is an upset.
I know this. Our editorial consultant, Tommy Spencer, took his bride over here on his honeymoon to see a soccer game the other day. What a romantic, you know, comes over here like day 2 of the honeymoon, goes to the soccer match. See Chelsea beat Roma though, 1-0.
You got to set the stage. Let her know what you know. It's going to be about sports.
That's the way it's going to be.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
Lisa.
And the fans were. That's what I. What about the soccer match? It's all about the fans. They just never stop chanting and getting into it. They stand and cheer. No booing though, Jim. No booing ever at any time during the contest.
2nd down and 6. Saints at the 47. Whistle. They whistle. Now, Breeze. Pass to Deuce. And tries to split the defender.
Just another time, Drew Brees, the protection. They got him faking the run and really getting deep. And why he goes deep, he's going to allow his receivers that extra time to run down the field. Watch the fake. And then look how deep. 9 yards deep. And he's looking for somebody for the touchdown throw. Not there. Smart. Gets rid of it. Picks up a few yards.
Got 3rd down and a little bit more than 2 to go.
Experience and repetitions. That's why Drew Brees is so good now in the NFL.
Over 300 for the 6th time in 8 games this year.
And talent.
And the Chargers defense make a play. Brees throws. And there is a flag coming all the way from the back judge. It's going to be interference against Jammer. They were going for Colston.
Pass interference, defense number 13. Automatic, 1st down.
It's a tough call against Quentin Jammer. And Norv Turner, what did he say to us yesterday? Somebody just make a play. There is some contact, but that's not the reason why Colston went down. It's just the field, the throw, there was tight coverage, and I was getting ready to say somebody made a play to get the defense off the field, but not to be.
Pierre Thomas is the tailback out of the eye. You set it down. They go Thomas off left tackle, and he goes into the secondary and still running hard down to the 25.
Well, my answer or my thought to the studio, to James Brown, has the offense of the New Orleans Saints suffered today because Reggie Bush is not here? No. Everybody is picking up the slack. So many options, and a defense that's not playing very well helps out. But the Saints, Drew Brees, Sean Payton, like I said, of course they'd love for Reggie Bush to be here, but you can't key on one guy. They spread it around, and they've done that with the running backs too today.
That picked up 15, Thomas. Brees. And that goes incomplete. Remember Shockey, the intended target. Dobbins on the coverage. And you can vote for your favorite players for the Pro Bowl today at NFL.com. That will enter you for a chance to win a trip to Hawaii to see the game. You can vote online or on your mobile phone, only at NFL.com/Pro Bowl. Got a Charger, Quentin Jammer, shaken up near the goal line. So we have an injury timeout in the final minute of the third quarter. Quentin Jammer is still down on the field.
Well, I thought at first it was a cramp in his right hamstring, but the fact that he's staying down the field so long, that would concern me.
Working on that right leg. Minuteman is a misplaced Patriot fan. Perhaps they got a Ram jersey next to him. Rams are just a remarkable story. They're leading up in New England right now in the fourth quarter, looking for 3 wins in a row. Beaten Washington, beaten Dallas, and now on top of the Patriots in that one at 16-13 with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, this is not good news for the San Diego Chargers defense. Struggling so much today in the way they played this New Orleans defense the last plays. I want to say that's how you should do what you should do for the rest of the game, because pressure them, make Drew Brees make perfect throws, play man-to-man coverage. When you're playing zone, I can't remember him missing a throw.
So Cletus Gordon, you saw him, 24. He comes in for Jammer. It's 2nd and 10 for the Saints. And the Chargers 25. And Stecker spinning away and squirting through for 5 yards. That puts New Orleans over 400 yards total offense on the day. 401 to close out, in all likelihood, the third quarter. They got 25 first downs, 401 total yards. They lead the league in total offense. And they've scored touchdowns on 4 of their last 5 possessions.
Really, it's terrific offense by them. And of course, on the other side, everything the Chargers wanted their defense to do today, none of it's happened.
We'll return to London after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Chargers and Saints with 1 quarter to go in London town. And even Harry Potter says, do that. We're welcoming you back to the Eye, CBS. Lance Bill Sims with the fourth quarter about to get underway. And New Orleans will have a 3rd and 5 from the San Diego 20.
I thought it was interesting yesterday. We talked to Sean Payton, and he talked about having a balanced offense. And what did he say? I want to keep the pass attempts in the 30s. Most coaches say in the mid-20s or lower. He said in the 30s.
That got your attention. He's going to throw again here. Breeze to the end zone, and it's knocked away. Flag is thrown in on Cletus Gordon, who had just come in for Jammer. The pass was headed to Robert Meacham. Now there's one official maybe jumping in to say he saw it another way. There seems to be a little disagreement in how the two saw it.
Pass interference, defense number 24. As this penalty occurred in the end zone, the ball will be spotted at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Cletus Gordon was in position. Top of your screen. Inside release, stays right on the hip. Robert Meacham is the receiver. Oh, man, oh, man.
How is that interference?
It's not. That's a tough call.
Wow.
He was in perfect position. That's what I saw, and I said, wow, Drew Brees picked the wrong guy. The inside receiver was open for the touchdown.
Well, that's a 4-point penalty. The Chargers are subbing. Guys are running in and out as the Saints go up the middle with Carney. And waiting for a signal. They've got it. Touchdown. Touchdown, New Orleans.
Chargers had 12 guys on the field, too, and what the call. But you know what? When you throw the football up the field and you put the pressure on the defense, in today's rules, as you watch the touchdown by Carney, in today's game, you think, well, let's complete it, and if not, maybe we'll get a pass interference call. And
they were fortunate on the last call.
We didn't see the interference, and they would have had to try to, field goal on this field.
Maybe.
It's a maybe, but instead they get the ball at the 1, they get the touchdown. So, as I said, there's at least a 4-point penalty. 5th touchdown by the Saints today by 5 different guys.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Cletus Gordon over on that San Diego sideline muttering about that flag, that interference call that set up the Saints at the 1-yard line, led to the Carney touchdown. But this San Diego pass defense just been awful the last 2 weeks. Trent Edwards, Buffalo, beat him up last week 25-30. They never laid a hand on him last week either. No sacks last week, no sacks in 7 quarters on this road trip. The score is taken down at the 24.
Jim, let's go back and look at this top of your screen. Watch Cletus Gordon's right arm as he goes down and he gets in the end zone against Robert Meacham. Watch his right arm go under and lock Meacham's left arm, or grabs it. I'm sure that's what they saw on the field in live action, but still, watch the arms interlock. That's why the penalty flag was thrown. But when the defensive back is in perfect position and you know he's going to make the play, that would be my point. Still, not a good call.
Season high, 109 yards in penalties on the Chargers. And that pass, no flag this time for their side, as that was going to Chambers. This Thursday, TV's #1 show, CSI, a club scene becomes a murder scene. Don't miss the final haunting minutes of a new CSI. It's Thursday at 9/8 Central on CBS.
Boy, what pressure this San Diego offense has. They go out in the field and they know we got to score. And they've kind of felt it's been that way the whole day.
They got to score often, quickly. Set up a screen in traffic. Boy, that was dangerous, but Tomlinson makes the catch for no gain.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was a play call, and you heard me talk about Sean Payton, and then it goes with the defense too. And the Saints had the perfect play call that time. They blitzed, they came free, the screen never got the rhythm and the spacing that you need to make it work, and there's a guy in man-to-man coverage who stops LaDainian Tomlinson getting extra yards.
3rd and 10. Can't afford a 3 and out right now. Down the field to Floyd. What a catch. 3 Saints were around him, and he leaps into the air and comes down with it for 21.
I saw this last week against the Buffalo Bills. A couple times Phillip Rivers threw it over the middle, and we talked to him yesterday, Jim, and he just goes, hey, sometimes my guys are so big and talented, I just got to throw it up. And that time he did it, it was a big first down. And the Saints, they know it. They even talked about it. You cover the receivers, they don't care. They'll still throw it to him.
So a crucial catch to keep him in the game as they go back down the field. Looking at Floyd, and double coverage incomplete. We've got an update. James Brown has the story from the studio.
Jim and Phil, not pretty if you're a Jets fan. Take a look at Brett Favre out of the shotgun. He throws this one right to Brandon Flowers of KC. Flowers, his 2nd pick of the day. He does the rest, 91 yards to pay dirt. 3rd pick of the afternoon thrown by Favre. 24-21 Kansas City, 7:48 left in regulation. Jim and Phil.
All right, thank you, JB. The Chiefs decisive underdogs today. Been all over Favre. They've roughed him up in that first half. 3 picks now, 1 run back for the touchdown and the go-ahead. Rivers pump fake now, flings it. It's got his man. It's Gates at the 35. A lot of zip on that one. 20 yards gain.
Yeah, a lot of zip to a receiver. Antonio Gates in the slot. Watch him come across the middle. Wide open. And is he healthy? Oh my gosh, LaDainian Tomlinson and Antonio Gates. That's the one thing the Chargers are going to take out of this game. 2 more dynamic weapons that are back to full speed.
to 35. Tomlinson goes over 100 right here and picks up a quick 12. And we do have the flag. He was at 99 before that rush.
Illegal formation, offense, only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
We'll wipe out the big gain.
6 guys on the line of scrimmage. Here's, oh shoot, they did not cover. They're saying this receiver and this receiver, either one is on the line of scrimmage, and that is why you need 7. So that is a good call.
11 penalties, totaling 114 yards. The visiting team, if you will, as the Saints are the team that lost the home game. The visiting team getting a rough go of it today. And some silly personal foul penalties as Rivers flushed out, now throws it, and there's another flag. Sproles scampers to about the 19.
I thought that it was going to be defensive holding as Sproles tried to change his route.
Holding, defense number 51. This penalty is declined. The result for the play, first down.
Oh, I tell you, these teams, it's, you know, you want to say the defense just not doing a good job, but watch Jonathan Vilma. Middle of your screen, he has Darren Sproles. Good job. He's got him covered, but he holds him, and as he moves, easy call, easy to throw the flag on. Definitely a holding penalty by Jonathan Vilma. But they adjust so quickly when they're not open and still catch the football.
Rivers first down at the 19. Sends the ball deep, goes underneath to Manu Maliuna. He scrapes it cleanly for a catch at the 12.
If you're the Saints, you just go, well, let's just don't let them score fast. And I'm really serious, just that because you have a 17-point lead. And if your offense comes out and gets a first down or 2, this quarter will be, it'll run down quickly.
Identical number of trips to the red zone. There go Tomlinson. Now he has his 100-yard game, second one of the season. The only one, the other one he had, Phil, we were there to see it at Oakland. And he only really got that because there was a late 40-some-odd-yard run to the end zone for a touchdown that sealed the victory and put him over 100. This has been, you could see this one from his first carry today.
Yes,
different guy today.
Different running back. As you look at these defenses too, Jim, the field is soft. That wears your legs out. You're on the field a lot. Neither one of them, neither defense responding well.
LT always gets stronger as the season marches on. This time he's chopped at the 8. His second and goal. It was Clancy on the tackle. And the Chargers at 3 and 4. Game behind Denver in the AFC West. Of course, that was week 2 debacle there in Denver from the San Diego standpoint with that inadvertent whistle that cost them a game, they feel. Most people would have to agree. You know? Anyway, here we go. Second and goal. Rivers pass is almost caught. Was it caught on the rebound? I think they're going to give him the catch. Well, one official said yes. The other says no. It hit the ground. That was Vincent Jackson.
Chris Chambers on the inside, goes underneath. Here comes Vincent Jackson. Not alert, or maybe Phillip Rivers throws it too quickly. I don't know, but it almost leads to an interception.
Third and goal. They have 3 scores they've got to make up. So if you don't get it here, I would assume you still kick it. You got to go ahead.
Yes, you
stay in the game.
You try to prolong the game. That's what you always do.
Now they may have to go all the way back another 5 yards. Is there timeout called first?
There are 2 fouls on the play. Delay a game. Offense. delay a game for spiking the ball by the quarterback. Offense. Only one of these penalties will be assessed. It'll be the delay a game. 5 yards, still third down.
Play clock runs out. Phillip Rivers thinks he beats it, so they call delay a game on him because he spikes the football.
That was going to be a 5-yard penalty anyway. It doesn't really cost you anything extra. They'll take the first one, but back him up to the 13. So it's a free spike, a free moment of frustration. Now the officials say, hold on 1 minute here.
Are they discussing could it be added on?
That's
because
the
it was
point.
A dead ball foul.
Norv Turner. This is actually the third time Norv has been on the sideline here at Wembley Stadium. He came here as an assistant with the Rams back in the 80s, the Cowboys in the 90s. He's kind of got this thing down.
The question was whether the clock should have been started after the penalty. The answer is no. Therefore, the clock will remain dead.
Does that feel liberating to say that for the first time in your life?
Yeah, you know, once I'm not going to disagree with you. It does not come out of my mouth very easily.
All right, from the 13. You put LT in a slot to the right.
5 guys spread out. That means you send a couple in the end zone and a receiver or two goes underneath, hoping to create space so they can catch it and score.
Looking left, getting chased, robs it, and no flag, incomplete. In the area of Chris Chambers. Case Beharn was the defender. Bobby McRae, who had a little case of food poisoning, was the one that was chasing after the quarterback.
Yeah, they let the quarterback get out of the pocket, and when you let a quarterback get out of the pocket situation like this, that's how receivers get open. That was a good no call. Case Beharn definitely did not interfere with Chris Chambers.
31-yard field goal try on the way from Nate Kading. He has not missed on his last 32 attempts from inside the 40. Kading makes it 33 in a row inside 40. Keeps the Chargers in the game with that field goal. 37-23 Saints.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored in high definition by Sony. High definition, it's in Sony's DNA. Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And by Toyota, moving forward.
And that a beautiful sight there. Subway postgame show is coming up next. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher, the scores and highlights, recaps of all the action coming up at the Subway postgame show. That is not the London Bridge. This is the Tower Bridge. Onside kick by the Chargers, and Kaysen has it. Oh, he had it slip through, but another Chargers right there. They're going to get the recovery. Wow, the Saints surprisingly did not look like they even thought that was a possibility.
No, they did not. All the Saint protectors were turning and running. Boy, what a good fake. That was a good deceptive move by him. And there's only one Saint, I can't tell who it was, that was actually trying to go for the recovery. Everybody else was running down the field, getting ready to block.
It was Usama Young who saw the ball just bounce right over his head, and that's Osgood. Who else with the recovery?
With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 9:32. The clock should have ran
that's the first
when it was first touched by New Orleans. Recovery by San Diego. First down.
Kading's career. So Kading beautifully executing that one. Right back out here. My goodness, how things have changed. And for a quick strike down the field, the catch is made. Vincent Jackson for 17.
How many times we've seen this today? Antonio Gates will clear out the middle. Look at Vincent Jackson. coming across, and it helps to be 6'5". I'd say that's number, I'm going to guess 4 throws today. And look at the arc that Phillip Rivers puts on it. It's perfect, good timing, good speed, and the placement of the ball allows only his guy for a chance to catch it.
Chambers, and taken off down to the 22 for 17 more.
A blitz this time by the Saints defense. They go, well, we're getting tired of watching all these completions, but still plenty of space. And the biggest thing of all, receivers that are wide open. Aaron Glenn, he's had a couple guys run by him today, and he knows it's a blitz. He's going to protect against the long throw.
23 now. A little miscommunication. He was looking for Tomlinson. Vilma almost able to get the takeaway. We remind you that Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS gets rocking with one of the great rivalry games. Florida and Georgia will meet. Vern and Gary will have the call. Tim and Spencer in the studio with the TIAA Prep College Football today. That's next Saturday. Georgia, Florida. It's a big one. It always is. This year, those two high-ranked teams. It'll be huge next Saturday on CBS. 2nd down and 10. Hamilton in a slot to the right. And a pass over the 14-yard line to Chambers.
Well, if the Chargers can score here, you said it early in the first half. How long has New Orleans offense now been sitting on the sidelines? So all that play calling rhythm and throwing and catching, sometimes that goes out the window when you sit over there, especially if you got to come back on the field and knowing you have to get a first down or two to run the clock out.
They've been sitting out for over 7 minutes now, Phil. 3rd and 1. They fake to Tomlinson. They go to the end zone to Jackson, and he dives for it. Touchdown, Chargers.
Good play call that time. We've seen quite a few of these today. They switched the coverage across the field, but Vincent Jackson going full speed. He is just too fast and too tall for Kevin Caseforhorn to cover in a situation like that. Look how long he waits to put his hands out, gets his knees down for the touch.
And they've already challenged it from the New Orleans bench, but I can't see them winning this one. Both knees are in.
And never let's go to football.
Put in a touchdown.
Chargers warming up. They'll have to ride out a review.
This play has been challenged. It's a touchdown by Vincent Jackson. Pretty clear to see. Possession. Knees down, inbounds, and as he hits the ground, never lets go of it, gets up, touchdown.
Point is, the knees were down before the elbows
on the field will stand, results in a touchdown.
So we have a half a quarter to go, and they were down 3 scores just a short while ago. They get the field goal by Kading, the onside kick thanks to a masterful onside kick by Kading.
And I can't say, I'm second guessing New Orleans not being ready for it, but I wasn't sitting up here going, hey, I'd be alert for the onside kick in a situation like this.
How huge is that missed point after earlier in the game by New Orleans that hit the left upright? Coming in 7, Kading knocks it through. Cypher's doing a good job on the hold. 37-30 in a shootout, the UK.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Comfort Suites Hotels. Get all the room you need to spread out and relax. Book now at choicehotels.com. And by Sprint. Get NFL Mobile Live only from Sprint, only on the Now Network.
10 points in just a little more than 2 minutes by the Chargers. And Rivers has thrown his 3rd touchdown of the game. No picks.
giving him 19 on the season. He had 21 all of last year. Again, this marks the midway point of the season, game 8. 8 touchdowns overall in the game by 8 different players. Thomas. Osgood goes flying over the wedge, which drew a lot of attention around here.
Well, what it did, it took a lot of blockers away from who they were blocking to get him.
Was that a rugby move? I think that's a little bit of rugby.
I got a hockey ball too.
They can relate to this.
Let's see if we see number 81. Here he comes.
Look at this.
Wow. Well, he did a good job. What he did is he grabbed on to one of the defenders to soften his fall.
That had to be appreciated by one guy I know who's here today, probably the last 10 years, the greatest rugby player in the world. Of course, you know who that would be.
No, I don't.
Johnny Wilkinson.
Oh, wow.
First down and 10 from the 19. And Bruce McAllister drives the legs out to about the 24. Give him 4 yards. Next Sunday, we've got more regional action on CBS. The Jets, who have just taken the lead over Kansas City with a minute to go on a Favre touchdown pass to Coles. They'll be playing up in Buffalo. Bills in trouble in the last 2 minutes. Look like they may be going down to the Dolphins. Plus other action. That's next week. And it all starts with our guys in the studio. Mixing it up again. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower having a good time next Sunday at noon. And then somebody jumping early. They're coming after Breeze. Closest they've gotten to him all day, and he's just able to throw it away. There is no flag on the field. That was Castillo coming in on Breeze, and it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like maybe some of the Saints. Oh, yeah, the snap count. Drew Brees, the center, quick snapped him. So none of the offensive linemen moved, and what a good job by Drew Brees, just avoiding a really bad play.
38 passes by Breeze attempted in this game as Henderson goes to the sidelines. 38 attempts with no sacks. And 68 throws against this Chargers defense over the last 2 weeks without getting to the quarterback. Big play here, 3rd and 6, and Breeze hits Billy Miller for the first down. Gregory decks him, but not till he has the first at the 39. Goes for 15.
Well, it's just so many moving parts. How you, as a defender, what do? They're going to be crossing the field, and then watch Billy Miller come up and sit in the middle. So Drew Brees lets it all go. There's the crossers underneath, and look at the tight end. They get confused. Who has who when they keep crossing like that? And what a job by Drew Brees finding him. That was, to say the least, a huge first down. Field position, time.
Chargers just can't force the 3 and out. Like I said last week, Buffalo had at least 1 first down on every series of the game. But now Weddle has the pick. There is a flag in the secondary. Oh, what a call coming up this is.
He came underneath, played the pass extremely well.
A flag in the middle of the field, though. Will the Saints be saved by a flag?
I'm watching the Charger players.
Pass interference, offense number 83.
Oh, it's going to hold on.
Result of the play.
Miller called for the pass interference. Billy Miller.
What a play by Weddle. And, oh, now he just got a flag for celebrating. But Drew Brees has what he wants across the field. He underthrows it. And Eric Weddle, playing the back hip of Billy Miller, goes underneath and makes a tremendous interception, then celebrates and jumps up and down way after the play is over.
At the conclusion of the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, San Diego, number 32. Unnecessary and excessive demonstration. 15-yard penalty. It will still be first down.
Well, they got Lance Moore for excessive celebration earlier after his touchdown, and now they're going to call this one after the pick.
There's the penalty, the push-off. Boy, what a nice job of playing.
Eric Weddle out of Utah, the 2nd-round pick last year. And Breeze seeing it intercepted
Yeah, when you throw an interception to the quarterback, always protect yourself.
Accepted.
Now there is a challenge flag. New Orleans is going to challenge whether or not Weddle actually made a clean pick.
Well, this would be Sean Payton's call, Jim, as you look at where the flag is thrown.
It happened right in front of him.
Right in front of him. So he doesn't have to take the word of any player, and I have seen nothing on a replay because we're watching everything else.
Weddle diving. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that's gonna hold up, don't you think?
I think it is. I thought at the last second he got his hands under it. It is absolutely slipping out, and then at the last second, it's amazing. He looked like he got his arms underneath it. You can tell by the flight of the football.
Boy, it was squirting out, and his knees came up and prevented it from falling to the ground. He was able to kind of recontrol it, regain it.
Best angle right here. Oh, I don't know. Did that ball hit?
He's got a hand underneath there, though, doesn't he?
No, the tip of the football, did it hit, then turn? Watch it as he goes down. Right there. Watch the tip. Did it turn it over? I'm going to say they're going to overturn this. You see what I'm saying? Watch the tip. Boom. Pops it back up back into his arms. It only took us 7 replay tries to see it, but it is amazing. It happened so fast. These guys are so good.
Don't forget the Saints have already lost a timeout because they lost the challenge on the Vincent Jackson touchdown in this quarter.
Right.
And this could cost them another one.
What do you think once we said that and then I brought that to your attention? You're sticking with the interception.
Still think he had, because of the way, again, the interpretation, the hand underneath. I'm not convinced that the nose of the football was out of control and on its own.
I am.
Okay.
Just not sure if Tony Corrente saw it my way.
After reviewing the play, the San Diego defender did not secure possession, therefore it is an incomplete pass.
You're right. Now what about?
There were 2 fouls on the play. There was pass interference, offense, and there was an excessive demonstration against the defense. By rule, these penalties will offset. Wow. It'll be 1st down and 10 at the New Orleans 39-yard line. New Orleans will not be charged with a timeout.
Well, Jim, as we kept watching it so many times, and that's why they're trained to pick up little movements, but the football going down, the fact that it pops up all of a sudden and change directions, that's what told me it probably hit the ground. Tony Corrente saw the same thing, and then the excessive celebration. Wow, how big a play is that?
Well, again, had it not been the excessive celebration, but the challenge would have been still won by the Saints. It would be backing up New Orleans into a 1st and really long.
Yes.
Now instead it'll be 1st and 10. Would have been 1st and 20 otherwise, had Weddle not been called for the excessive celebration.
1st down.
Yep. Corrente confirms it one more time. 5:41 to go. After a gain of 3. How about Deuce McAllister today, filling in for Reggie Bush? You know, they actually, of course, go back and forth, but going the majority of the way today.
I can't tell you how impressed I am with him, how he's played. I like what he's done to the offense. It gives him that inside tower, and he was able to get the rhythm of the game by getting enough carries. Always running backs, quarterbacks, receivers, you need your number called to get the rhythm so you can take advantage of your athletic ability.
Told us he was starting to feel the rhythm the last 2 weeks as they dump it underneath to Lance Moore for 2 yards. McAllister has 47 rushing yards, 30 receiving.
You know, Jim, watch Drew Brees to be a good thrower like he is. Look at that. Here comes Luis Castillo right at him, nobody blocking him, so he throws it sidearm to get around him and get the completion to Lance Moore.
All right, back to the emphasis here on the Chargers defense. Can it make a play? The pass defense last in the league.
I like the fact that they're challenging these receivers now. Wish they would have done it more. And they're all up in their face, playing tight.
Breeze on third down, and that's no flag intended over there for Lance Moore. And that was Cletus Gordon defending, and back out comes Ben Graham.
Look at as we go across the gym. Look at the receivers, both of them. Top of your screen, right on them. Challenge them. And Cletus Gordon, like you said, perfect position. And if Drew Brees threw it up, it's going to be intercepted. Look at the other side. Excellent coverage. Excellent. Nobody to throw to. And Drew Brees did a smart thing, throwing it low.
Ben Graham. Low pick. Taking it at 14. Across the 20. Sproles. And that's about it to the 22. Well, they've got 4 minutes to drive down the field and tie it. 43-yard punt with a 9-yard return. And Dunbar on the tackle.
Time is not even an issue. 3 timeouts, like you said, over 4 minutes. In fact, if it doesn't go well, you still have time to punt the football away and get it back one more time. But New Orleans defense, they have to decide if they sit back. I have no question Phillip Rivers will drive them right down the field and score.
Barrels across the 30. Randall Gay chops him at that point, but yet another flag.
Holding offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty.
You got to love the taxis over
second
here in
down.
London. I was asking one of the drivers the other day what he thought of American football. He says, I like it, but you know, the thing is, just when it seems like it's going good, they take out their handkerchief and they throw it in the air. Well, yeah, we call those penalty flags. And we're seeing a lot of handkerchiefs here today.
That's a great analogy. It's like one of them said once, you know, I like the action, but why do they always have to get together and discuss everything? Talk about the huddle.
Got to talk about it.
Yeah. You're right, great taxis over here, by the way.
Chambers comes rolling out of the huddle. Like a little tumble move. Not sure why, but Rivers, all kinds of time. We've got to go underneath, and a lot of room over here for LT. Across the 30, across the 40, and forced out at the 44-yard line. Another big gainer, goes for 32.
It was a good blitz by the Saints. Watch the blitz pick up by San Diego from overhead. Nobody open. Look at the time. And somehow, I don't know how, I guess because he couldn't find anybody open, he sees LaDainian Tomlinson uncovered, who blocked the blitzer and then released.
LT with 168 total yards.
New Orleans was trying to win the game on that blitz. It didn't work.
That pass behind Tomlinson. 3:45 to go. And again, I mentioned earlier the missed point after really early in this game after the Saints' first touchdown. Melhoff denied. Martin Gramatica on injured reserve as of 3 weeks ago with a groin injury. Melhoff, who was originally drafted by the Saints, cut and then brought back. Their kicker, by the way, that Melhoff has never in his career attempted a game-winning field goal at any level, high school, college, or otherwise. Who knows where this game's headed? Maybe for extra session as the pass goes to Chambers and right down at midfield. A 3rd and 4 on the way.
You know, I'm going to say that missed extra point. It's hard to look back at something that happens early and go, well, so many things would have changed, but that's not the case in this extra point. This game would still have the same dynamics. It would have been played almost the same way. The decisions, I don't think, would have changed. The only difference would have been the Chargers would have to score and go for 2.
Rivers racking up huge numbers in this 4th quarter. 164 passing yards in the 4th and looking for more, but first going to go to Tomlinson. And that hole was closed quickly, so a 4th down on the way. Vilma and Will Smith closed it up.
That was a little bit of gamble running in a situation like this when you're throwing it so well, but that had an opportunity to bust for big yardage.
I think they thought they were going to cross up the Saints with that running play. Now they've got the vital play coming.
I think the Saints were so tired they just stayed in positions and made the tackle.
Saints have converted 2 big 4th down plays earlier in this game. Now can the Chargers get one of their own? Rivers open. First down at the Saints 37. Antonio Gates for 11. They're going to let it come down to the 2-minute warning. It's been a thriller here in London town, and more to come.
Here we go. We got Jonathan Vilma, and I think it's Scott Shanley. They can't figure out how they're going to play this defense. Watch Antonio Gates goes down the field uncovered. Phillip Rivers, good job. Spots him, doesn't lead him. Jim, you made a good point during the commercial. The sloppy field, the slow field, no pass rush. Phillip Rivers all day to throw.
That's what you said before the game. You see very little pass rush and hard time defending. Showed on that play. As Sproles sprints to the 27, near another first. They have all 3 timeouts, and there's no reason to leave New Orleans too much time here.
You know, isn't it something? You want to tie the game, but don't leave too much time on the clock.
Look at Phillip Rivers exceeding the first 3. He played well the first 3 quarters. Just the Saints were like doubling time of possession and play count. And he's looking at a 200-yard quarter right now, just 15 yards away from it. Oh, just a little wide of Tomlinson, who would have had some running room. Vilma was trying to stay with him.
You know, as I watch that New Orleans pass rush, it's basically been almost the four same guys in there doing it. And how many times can you just rush the passer? Oh boy, and Charles Grant doing it with one arm. That's tough. Finally, they got some pressure on Phillip Rivers, and they make him throw it before he's ready.
1:22 to go. Trying to come back from 17 down in this final quarter.
Charles Grant now playing right defensive end, has his right arm so bandaged up he can't even move it.
Here comes the blitz. And a flag first. Delay a game.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Coming up, the Subway postgame show. JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer. Coach Cowher, all the latest scores and highlights. Coming up, Subway postgame show.
Each team sitting there right now just going, can we find a way to get this done and win it? Because if you win it, you're 4-4. You got the week off. You get rested up. And most of all, you go, we can fix the problems. That's what they're hoping. Your margin of error, of course, goes up if you win this game before you buy. 3-man rush.
2nd down and 15. Pass. Will not have gained much anyway. Over in the direction of Tomlinson. 3rd and 15 coming up.
Jim, you've heard me say it many times. I hate the 3-man rush. But today, I'd go with it. Just to give you the extra defender to maybe stop some passes, because I don't think they've consistently got pressure regardless of what they do. So go ahead and take that 4th down lineman, put a linebacker or defensive back in there, and try to cover him down the field.
Call a timeout now. They let the play clock run down, which is immaterial, but 1:18 to go.
Jim, look at it. We got 3 linemen there, and then look at all the defenders that drop back in coverage. And at least you just go, okay, the middle linebacker going deep, allow the short throw, and then everybody run and make the tackle, because you have more guys, more speed, and more tacklers when you play that 8-man defensive pass secondary. There's Gary Gibbs, defensive coordinator.
Breeze, who has to feel like he couldn't be stopped all day long until that last drive. And the Chargers finally were able to make a couple of plays.
Hard to score points and stay hot when you're on the sideline.
Yep, which has been the case here lately.
Chargers have had the football the whole 4th quarter.
That was Joe Vitt I saw on the sidelines real quickly instead of Gary Gibbs, the defense coordinator.
Let's see how much they can pick up. They'll pick up a chunk of it, all of it, none of it. 3rd down 15. Rivers lofts it, tip, and intercepted. It's Vilma with the interception for the Saints.
He went with the jump pass one more time, but that 8th defender, it made a difference. There were more people underneath playing the situation, and Jim, they finally tipped the football. Who does it? It might be Scott Shanley. Does he stay in front? Yes.
It actually touched 3 different Saints.
What a job by Shanley, though, not being fooled. He almost came up. He looked for the receiver out of the corner of his eye, and he waited for him to come to him.
Shanley tips it. Harper got a finger on it. Vilma secures it and may save the day. Chargers with 2 timeouts, 1:09. Deuce, the immediate timeout. They have 1 left. That NFC South, so competitive. Tampa fell to the Cowboys this afternoon. Carolina defeated Arizona. Atlanta has just lost to Philadelphia. So they could pick up a game on everybody in the division.
Yeah. AFC West is the Denver Broncos off this week, and what a good week. What a good bye week when you sit back and you watch your threat to your division title lose a game.
2nd down and 7, 1:04. Plow ahead with McAllister 3 yards shy of the first, and the final timeout called with 59 seconds. So if they can stop them here, they can't run it all the way down.
Well, you know, Jim, regardless of what happens at the finish of this game, both teams, just a lot of question marks. There really are. The Chargers offense, it can be frightening good.
And now that LT obviously is getting it back.
And Antonio Gates, it's Vincent Jackson, Malcolm Floyd, Chris Chambers. It's I've never seen anything like it.
They got to stop somebody.
They got to stop them. They got to come up with some answers. I don't know what you do. Play more man-to-man defense, blitz more. They blitz a lot anyway. It's not about that. They got to find a way to pressure the quarterback sometime during the game.
And make a play here to have any chance. It's Deuce into a pile. Just give him a yard. We'll see how fast they can reset it.
Well, you make them punt it, get a decent return, and you hope you can at least get 2 throws, maybe to the end zone.
They can run this thing down to about 13 seconds if they wish. Ben Graham will be coming out to punt. Again, he's newly signed.
When you call a timeout with 1 second, Drew Brees is going to do that for him.
Drew Brees trying to get a little London flavor after a week of work. They again stayed outside of London, about an hour out. Went to see a little matinee on the West End yesterday. Jersey boys. Oh, what a night it's been here for Drew. Again, over 300, 3 touchdown passes.
Well, what do the Saints have ahead? Atlanta, who
after the bye. Yeah.
After the bye. They're tough. Kansas City played the Jets tough today. Green Bay, they're good. Tampa, they're really good. Nothing easy, that's for sure.
Then you got San Diego. Barring some miracle here, that's going to be about, 5,500 mile flight, long enough. But to make that trek back home, then take the bye, come home with 2 losses.
Look at this schedule, Jim. Even though they could be 3-5 when this game ends, the Chargers, they got difference makers on this team, and their schedule, the division. This is not. I don't think it's as big a setback to the Chargers losing today as it would be if the New Orleans Saints lost.
Hey, look what's on the field here. They're keeping Brees and the offense on the field with 14 seconds.
Well, they're going to try to draw them off sides.
No, they're not.
He's going to try to get rid of 12 seconds.
Going to take a safety.
Oh,
it's going to take a safety.
What a play. That was smart.
Look how much time he took, too. It took 6 seconds.
That's managing a game. That's just doing the little things that you just keep working to ensure your team a better chance to win. What were you thinking? I didn't think fast enough to think anything about a safety from that part of the
when he started retreating, I had a pretty good idea.
That would scare me, just that, what if he trips and falls?
No kidding.
What if somebody comes in untouched?
Wow.
But you know what? If you're a good, well-coached football team, you work on this during training camp. So your guys have some experience with it and go, okay, we can do it, we can execute it. And
He almost completed it to a photographer.
knocked him down.
He did.
But what this does,
Like one of those arcade games where you're trying to knock down a milk carton.
this gives you a better chance to cover the punt. 13 seconds.
You were in shock when he took the snap. I thought you were thinking to draw him off.
Excellent. Taking the time off the clock now. You only give a couple things. It gives you a better chance to cover the punt, and then you only give the Chargers one more play.
Why isn't the ball going back to the line of scrimmage if it's an incomplete pass?
Backward pass.
Backward
That's
pass
why.
is the answer to that.
Well, you had me stumped for a second. No, it's a backward pass.
Yep. So now they get the free kick.
Wait, are you trying to quiz me here? He's hitting.
Well, I saw you in shock when he took the snap, and I just wanted to see that look off in the distance one more time. Melhoff is going to be the one to free kick it.
Now what do? Do you squib kick it? Please don't.
That look of icy detachment.
Kick it in the air. And if you're going to kick it short, try to kick it in between receivers.
He launched it all the way down to the 18, Sproles. Question is, will he get on the ground? No, here he goes, and 1 second. They do get, hold on, that says no time. I think they might want to look at that.
They're going to give it one.
I think they got to look at this. Peyton says no. Wait, they got to say 1 second here.
With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock.
And remember, you
so
got
that there will be a 1 second showing.
with size.
Thank you.
Jim, does he have 1 second left when he hits the ground? Yes. He's down.
Yep.
Definitely has 1 second. 1, 2, it doesn't matter. It's the same. You're right, Jim. Big receivers. Can Phillip Rivers get enough time to get it to the end zone?
They send back deep. Harper and Casavant standing at the goal line.
Knock it down. Don't try to intercept it.
3-man rush. Rivers gets his feet planted, throws it as far as he can to the end zone, and incomplete. And the New Orleans Saints come to London and head home with a victory. McKenzie and Casavant knocked it down, and the Saints hold on for a 37-30 triumph. Jackson in the middle there. Harper got a hand on it too. James Brown's coming up with the Subway post-game show on the other side. Bill Sims and Jim Nantz saying cheers from London. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. What a game here today.